Hello, 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 and welcome to each one of you. Welcome to your August 2021 TarotScopes with me, Intuitive Rene. I have laid out a sample, a sample spread, a sample layout here just to take you through what we're going to be doing this month. I did ask on YouTube for some feedback with regards to how you enjoyed the layout that we did last month. And yeah, thank you to those who commented and let me know. We're sticking with that, but I am just adding a little bit more to it this month because you know me, I like more is always better, isn't it? So I am using different decks this month, and for the month of August for TarotScopes, I have decided to use the spellcasting oracle cards. And as you can see, I'm going to do two of those, and that's going to give us our theme for the month, okay? Per sign of the zodiac, that's going to give us our theme, two oracle cards. Then I've got tarot laid out here, and this is coming from the Modern Witch Tarot. We're going to have love. So what's going on with the love life, love department for the month ahead, finances and health. And then I have got my vintage Pam tarot deck over here, which is a little bit of a smaller deck. I'm loving this deck. I must be honest, I'm using it a lot more than I thought I would. And the vintage Pam is going to tell us what you need to embrace this month and what you need to be careful of this month. So I think we're going to get some really interesting and quite detailed readings for the month ahead, and I do hope that you enjoy. As always, these readings are done with the intention that you can watch for your sun sign, which is your standard zodiac that everybody knows, for your moon sign, or for your rising sign. And if you're uncertain about any of those, do reach out to me and I'll happily help you find what your sun and moon is. Information about that can be found on the Psychic Academy website if you want to understand what all of that means, or just like I say, reach out to me. I'll happily share information with you. But yeah, so you can watch this for yourself to see your personality, your emotions, and all of those kind of things, how you are perceived by other people, and so on. And it'll be interesting to see what comes through. So as always, this will be done for each sign of the zodiac, starting at Aries and going all the way through to Pisces. And yeah, if you have any issues or any problems, or if you anything you don't understand, reach out and let me know. We're going to start off with Aries, and I hope it brings you some clarity and some understanding for the month. Hello, 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 Aries, and welcome to your monthly TarotScopes. As you can see, I have shuffled and laid out the cards already, just so that I don't have to bore you with watching me shuffle cards. If you want to understand the layout or the decks that I've used, all of that information is in the intro. Let's get straight into it, Aries, and let's see what does August have in store for you. Starting off with our theme for the month, we have got, oh, I like it, inspiration. And that's such a beautiful card. So here we have a woman standing. I love the fact that there is nothing else around her, but look at where the light's coming from. It's coming from solar plexus. And she's really glowing, isn't she? So that light from her solar plexus, and that's where our inspiration comes from. That's where our gut instincts and our ideas and everything comes from. Everyone seems to think it comes from the head, but actually we have to feel it in our gut. We have to feel it in our center before we believe in it, before we trust it, before we react to it. So inspiration is coming, and connected to that. Oopsie, and I'm just like throwing all the crystals all over the place. And connected to it, we have got spirit guide. What we're looking at here for you, Aries, the theme for the month of August is about trusting your intuition. It's about trusting your inspiration, by trusting your gut instincts and listening and connecting to spirit. So it's important that we realize, each one of us has a connection to spirit. Our spirit guides are with us and working with us all the time, talking to us even. But the challenge comes in that we often don't trust. I'm using that word on purpose. We often don't trust what we receive. We often don't trust our gut instincts. We often don't trust the inspiration that spirit give us. And you're going to find yourself, Aries, in the month of August being tested in that department. Okay, you're going to find yourself throughout the month of August, spirit connecting with you, giving you inspiration. And if you don't listen, if you don't trust, if you don't take that inspiration, there's going to be some, I'm going to call it, consequences to that. So pay very much attention for the month of August. Spirit are going to be talking to you, giving you inspiration, and you need to work with it, because again, the reason why this kind of thing happens is because spirit want us to take the advice, take the guidance, take the inspiration that they're giving you, and work with it, because obviously it has a bigger bigger part to play in your reality, in your existence, and all the rest of it. So I think this is phenomenal, and I'm quite excited that I'm an Aries myself. So I know to listen to this, and I know to trust it, and I know to work with it during the month of August. Fabulous. Let's have a look and see what's in store for us with regards to love life. So as I do say every month, it doesn't matter if you're single, if you're married, if you're in a complicated relationship, committed relationship, or whatever it is. This is about your emotional connection to other people. If you want to listen to it and take the advice as relevant to a single person, or collectively your family, your friends, whatever it is, that's entirely up to you. But this has got to do with your emotional connection to others. Let's see what's in store. We have got the beautiful, the glorious star card, and the star card is the card of hope. It's also the card of inspiration, funny enough. Notice, first of all, that she is completely naked and transparent. Okay, she is showing her true self to everybody. She doesn't mind the fact that she's slightly overweight. She doesn't mind the fact that she knows that she's beautiful. She knows that she's absolutely gorgeous. But what is she doing? She's not focusing on herself. She's focusing on replenishing energies. We have the stork, and I know everybody associates the stork with babies coming, but in this particular case, the stork brings change. Babies bring change. Everything in your life changes when there's a baby. So the stork actually doesn't only bring babies, the stork brings change. So the star card is telling you that change is coming. And instead of always focusing on other people, instead of always focusing on other people's needs, wants, and desires, it may be important that you start focusing on yourself. But the most important thing with this card, with regards to love relationships, emotional connections, is about recognizing that you are always taking care of others. You are always giving more to other people than you take in return. And I think Spirit are going to be working with you this month, giving you guidance and inspiration on how to make sure that the situation you're in, the love connections that you're in, that they are equal, okay? That you're not giving more than you are taking. All right, it needs to be an equal give and take. And if it's not an equal give and take, then, and keeping you focused on hope, keeping you focused on inspiration, keeping you focused on enjoying everything that life has to offer. So I do think that's a fabulous card for the love, emotional side of you for the month of August. Let's have a look and see finances. What's in store for you with regards to finances? We have another major arcana. It's almost like I didn't shuffle the cards properly, because, okay, so if let's just explore the imagery first of all before I go into traditional meaning. We have this angel being, and I love the beautiful red wings. The red wings indicate passion and enthusiasm and inspiration and all those other good things. But here we have a whole lot of people who've almost, again, every single one of them is naked. So every single one of them is naked. They are revealing their true selves. They're not hiding who they are. They're all different shapes, sizes, and forms. But the focus is not on the nakedness. The focus is actually on being honest, on being true to who you are, and about standing up and facing your situation realistically. We often, with judgment, the word judgment has such a negative connotation to it, and everybody, whenever they see the word judgment, will go, oh no, you mustn't judge, and you don't want to be judged, and people are so judgmental, and that word gets so much negative attention. But what we have over here in this particular card is all of these people standing up. It looks almost like they're clapping. It's like they're in the process of clapping hands. They are clapping hands. They are celebrating and acknowledging this angelic being that's coming through, this angelic being that is coming to them. And the angelic being is looking at them for who and what they are, and the things that they've achieved in life, the things that they've done in life. There is no judgment on what they look like. There is no judgment on their shape, on their form, or anything like that. They are also looking at the angel, realizing that this angel carries unconditional love and acceptance. So that's what they're clapping for. They're clapping for the fact that somebody sees them for who and what they are. So how do we relate this to finances? Because this card is come through for us in relation to our money for the month of August. And I think, Aries, what this is saying to you is that you've got to be honest with yourself. Notice I said with yourself. You've got to look at your finances honestly, openly. You need to, because let's be honest, we are all our own worst critics. And especially when things aren't going so great, we don't like to admit that to ourselves. We don't like to own up to that. We'll often sweep things under the carpet and pretend that they're not there. I think this judgment card, when it comes to finances, Aries, is saying to you, during the month of August, be honest with yourself, be upfront with yourself, be completely transparent with yourself with regards to your situation. Are you sticking to your budget? Are you spending more than you need to? Are you saving accordingly? Are you doing enough? Okay. You are the only person who can answer that question, but you've got to understand that it's time that you face up to your facts, face up to your situation, be honest with yourself, not just with month to month how you're doing, but let's look at long-term goals, let's look at short-term goals, let's look at the things that you are striving towards and how are you doing with that. Are you on track? So I think financially for you, for the month of August 2021, for Aries, this is telling you take a long, hard, honest, truthful look at your situation and ask yourself, are you doing enough? Do you, is your income less than your expenditure? Do a complete analysis, okay, without judgment, without fear, and without worry that you're going to see yourself in a bad way. Be honest, be open, almost be completely, I'm going to say, naked and transparent again. So we've got a lot of that happening, a lot of that happening for the month. And even this person that we have here in this inspiration card, to me, I'm not seeing clothing on them either. So it's almost, again, we've got that transparency coming through, and it's about honest. Be honest with self, not with other people, but it's more about being honest with yourself. Okay, I like that. Let's have a look and see health and well-being. What is your card for health and well-being for the month ahead? What do you need to know? And we have another major arcana. I swear it's like I didn't shuffle the cards, although the numbers are not quite going in the right order. We have got the beautiful, glorious Fool card. So you know what the Fool card? The Fool card is about new journeys, new experiences, new opportunities. It's about having that naivety to just step over the cliff and not worry about the consequences. It's about doing things with such passion and such enthusiasm that we don't allow this or this to get in the way. We stand confidently, we stand sure, and we know that, you know what, it's almost that, I want to call it that cocky attitude of I'm untouchable, I'm okay, I can handle it. So health wise, you need to understand that during this month, it's a really good month to start new, I'm going to call it diets, let's say the D word, diets, okay? To start a diet, to start an exercise program, to start healthy living, to start something, to do something new. Don't worry about the long-term journey. Don't worry about, well, you know, where's it going to get you in 6 months and things like that. Do it because right now and right here it feels good. Do it because your health is telling you it's time to take that leap of faith. It's time to try something. It's time to climb out of your comfort zone, and it's time to start paying better attention to yourself. It's about the beginning of a journey. So if you have been eating healthily, then that's not what this card is referencing for you. This card is saying it's time to start doing something differently, a little bit better, with more enthusiasm, with more gusto. Whatever it is, there's something new that you're going to start with your health. But it's about trusting your spirit guides, okay? It's trusting in spirit, it's trusting in you, it's trusting in the process, and it's also trusting in the outcome. Don't overthink it. Don't spend too much time thinking. This it almost looks like with these three tarot cards that we've got here, Aries, it's like there's no time for thinking this month. This month, you're going to trust spirit. You're going to lead with inspiration. You're going to allow the inspiration that spirit give you to lead and guide you. Remember, with love, it's about being transparent, it's about being open, but it's about making sure that there's an honest give and take, while always remaining hopeful that the change is coming, positive change is coming. Financially, you need to be honest with yourself. You need to be direct with yourself. You need to be truthful with yourself about your situation now, short-term and long-term goals. And health-wise, this is spirit saying to you, it's time to start doing something a bit differently. It's time to start embarking on a new opportunity. So these two little cards here, they also come from a tarot deck. This is my vintage tarot. And we're going to look at what do you need to embrace this month in everything, and what do you need to be careful of. So let's have a look and see what we've got. So embrace this. Here we have the beautiful Queen of Swords. So I love the Queen of Swords. I really do think she's my soul card, because Queen of Swords, she's a no-nonsense type of person. She cares about people, sure, but she's not that compassionate and that empathetic. You know, she recognizes your situation, but she recognizes it from a very logical, realistic situation. She doesn't allow herself to get emotionally caught up in other people's drama, okay? She's also the kind of person who's going to make decisions, make the right decisions, without taking into account people's feelings. And I know that sounds really cold and callous, but sometimes we have to look at things realistically. And she is realistic. That's one thing we can say about the Queen of Swords. She is realistic without fault. Okay. She's not going to be, she cares about people to such an extent that her realistic outlook and her realistic method in making decisions actually is in everyone's favor. So you need to be a little bit more like her. You need to be a little bit more, I'm going to call it direct and strong. You need to be a little bit more assertive. Let's use that word. I think that's going to be your key word for the month is assertive. Be assertive. She is the epitome of assertive. She's always, that's first and foremost, is she's going to be honest and truthful. It doesn't matter if it hurts you. And Aries, we all know that Aries lead with the head and often speak often speak without thinking about it, and that is Queen of Swords. And I think that's why I say she's my soul card. I'm an Aries, and I can so relate to that. I can so relate to who she is and the way she is, and this is what we have to embrace. So it's not about being so touchy-feely. It's about honesty, it's about integrity, and it's about assertiveness. This last card here, Aries, is the card that we need to be careful of. So let's have a look and see. Yeah, be careful of not getting enough rest. So here we have the Four of Swords, and the Four of Swords is the card of rest, of contemplation, of meditation, of just taking time to listen to spirit. Okay, and this is what you need to be careful of. You need to be careful that you're not doing this, because again, there's so much going on here this month. It certainly seems to be quite a busy month for you, Aries, and with everything that's going on, you know, again, Aries like to get everything done. Aries like to take on too much. We're too quick to jump in and help out wherever need be, and we often don't take enough care of self. Okay, and this Four of Swords is saying to you, you need to be careful of either not doing enough or doing too much. And it's actually quite interesting. I'm having the urge to actually add a card to that. So I have the deck right here. Let's just shuffle quickly, Aries, because what I'm feeling like is it, I'm worried that I'm interpreting it one way and not the other. So it could be that you need to be careful of resting too much or not resting enough. So let's just get clarity on that. So shuffling the cards, asking for clarity on, whoopsie, on what we need to be careful of. Do we need to be careful of resting too much or not resting enough? And I want that card over there. Let's see what we get, Aries. Haha. So we get the Nine of Pentacles. And the Nine of Pentacles, let's see if I can fit it on the screen. I think it fits. The Nine of Pentacles is about, again, she has more than she needs. It's opulence. This is the card of opulence. It's the card of excess. It's the card of having too much. So I think it's telling you, Aries, we need to be careful that we're not resting too much. Okay, resting in excess. All right, because there is stuff to be done. You, Spirit, are going to be giving you so much inspiration during the month, and you need to run with that. You need to work with that. You need to go with that. You need to be listening to Spirit, because this is the theme with everything that's going on for the month. You need to be paying attention, and need to be listening. So Aries, no resting on your laurels, no taking your time. It is like the Fool, she jumps into things without thinking about it, and that's exactly what we need to be doing. We need momentum to get us through, but we also need to be assertive in our approach. We need to be cautious and optimistic and hopeful with regards to love relationships and connections with other people, but at the same time need to make sure everything's an equal exchange. And financially, honesty is the only policy. All right. So Aries, this looks like a fabulous month ahead for the month of August. It doesn't look like you've got anything to be concerned about. So far, it's just go, 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 go. And if you do that, everything will work out well. With love and blessings from my heart to yours. Until we connect again, take care. Hello, 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 and welcome, Taurus. Welcome to your August 2021 TarotScopes with me, Intuitive Rene. I have shuffled and laid out cards on the table already, and the layout information and the decks that I'm working with, all of that is in the intro. Let's get straight into it and see what does August have in store for all Taurus energy out there. We're going to start off with the Oracle, and this is going to give us our theme for the month. So what is the theme For August for you, oh, that's an interesting one. Taurus, we've got closure. That is very interesting. And here we have a person. I actually think I need to bring it closer and show you. I always break the camera when I do this. But I don't know if you can see that there is a doorway there. And this person has just walked out of the door and they are walking through the forest, but they have dealt with and processed whatever they needed to behind that door, and now they are walking away. So closure is the theme for the month of August. The other card, let's just see before I elaborate on closure. Of course, if I can pick up the card. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I get so excited. Okay, so Taurus, for the month of August, your theme is going to be closure and freedom. And I think these work so well together, even though their colors are so radically different. But if you don't get closure on a situation, on a circumstance, on an emotion, on a thing, you're not going to have freedom to explore and to progress and to move on. So receiving closure, getting closure, or doing closure, I know that's terrible English, but you understand what I'm saying. If you get closure on a thing and you walk away and you allow yourself to step beyond that particular situation, that's where you're going to find the freedom. That's where you're going to find the freedom to experience, to explore, and to live the life that you need, want, and desire for yourself. So, but we can't have freedom if we're stuck in old situations. We cannot have freedom if we're stuck in old realities and old situations and old circumstances. In order for you to have the freedom that you want, that you need, and that you deserve, we have to get closure. That is so, so interesting. And I think that's a wonderful theme for the month ahead. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the tarot to see what areas this is going to come into and how it's going to play out for you during the month of August. So the tarot that I have at the bottom here, we're going to work with these three first. The first one we're going to have a look at is your emotional situation during the month of August. So this is your emotional or your love connection. And as I say each month, it doesn't matter if you're married, if you're single, if you're in a complicated situation, or if you don't quite know what your relationship status is. This card is referencing either a connection to a single person or just the people in your life, your emotional connection to others. So it's your love and your emotional self. So let's have a look and see what's in store for the month of August. Aha. So now we start understanding where this is coming from, because what we've got over here is the Five of Pentacles. And the Five of Pentacles is typically the card of loss, of lack, of not having, of feeling like you are on the outside and everybody else is on the inside, feeling a separation almost between you and other people. So relationship wise, you may find yourself feeling a little bit like you're out in the cold, feeling like you are a little bit disjointed or disconnected from whoever your significant other or others are. And clearly for you, and this is where these two cards really come into play, because this is not saying that if you are in a relationship at the moment that your relationship is going to end. That's not what it's saying at all. But it's saying that you might be not receiving what you feel you want or need from the relationship. And if we don't deal with that, and if we don't get closure or sort that situation out, you're going to constantly be out in the cold and never feel fulfilled, accepted, loved the way that you want to. And the freedom you have, you want that. You want to be able to. So let's put it to you this way. Both of these people represent you, okay? It's almost like they are the same person, just different aspects of themselves. They are separated from the people inside the building. They are separate from the people there. They're out in the cold, in the snow. And everybody that is important and significant to them is on the inside. But they don't know how to say, hey, I'm on the outside and I don't want to be on the outside here. So Taurus, for you, emotionally, in the love department with relationships, it's about finding your voice and it's about speaking out. It's about changing your circumstances and changing your situation, sorting out unresolved issues, sorting out problems, sorting out misunderstandings, or sorting out communication issues so that you can have the freedom to change your circumstances. Okay. So this is definitely saying to you, it's about speaking up, it's about expressing yourself, it's about voicing yourself, it's about making sure that people recognize how they're treating you and how you feel about it. Don't let people take you for granted. You need to speak out, you need to express, otherwise get settled and comfortable in the cold. All right. That's a toughie. Okay, so Taurus, now we're going to have a look at this next tarot card, and this one has got to do with your finances. So financially, what is happening for you during the month of August? And we have got another 5. So we've got 2 5s coming up. And this one is a very interesting card. So here you stand at the water's edge. You can see by, first of all, the clothing, by the body language, that she's feeling a little bit disappointed. She's feeling a little bit hard done by, okay? And she's actually upset over these 3 cups here that have fallen over. They've spilt their contents. You can see the water that they've spilt that's come out of them. They're empty, they're dirty, she maybe didn't like the contents of them, whatever it is, but she's now feeling as if she doesn't have. So there's a theme developing here, okay? So she's almost at that point of I'm going to say, giving up, that point of not feeling as if anything's going to work out the way it should be. She's feeling very, very sad and very, very unhappy with her current circumstances. So much so that this emotion, look at the gray skies even, this emotion that she's feeling is overwhelming her to such an extent that she doesn't even see what's right there behind her. So she's giving up on a situation even before she's explored all options. So, Taurus, financially for you during the month, you may have 1 or 2 or 3 hiccups. There may be 1 or 2 or 3 little situations that are going to disappoint you, that are going to upset you. It could be connected to this, but it's definitely related to getting closure and gaining the freedom that you so need, deserve, and etc. So if you find yourself suffering some financial disappointments, hiccups, bumps in the road, whatever during the month, before you give into that emotion, before you allow that emotion to completely disrail you or derail you, stop for a second and look around you. Now, there's a couple of other things that I want to really point out on this particular card. Look how far away she is from town, okay? She is so disconnected from her people. Financially, you are far away from your goals. You're far away from what you need to be doing. And you're focusing on the things that are going wrong instead of looking for all the opportunities. So these 2 cups standing behind her are very much an indication that it's not all doom and gloom, that it's not all bad, okay? There are positives as well, but the choice is yours. You can either focus on that or you can look around for those. I think you need to gain closure on your past, gain closure on what's happened to you previously, situations and circumstances that have happened in the past. Free yourself financially to look for the new opportunities because there's a lot of them, okay? There are plenty new opportunities. That freedom is yours. It's there for you, but your decision. Are you going to cry over the spilt milk or are you going to look for the new opportunities? Financially, don't get caught, okay? Don't get caught there. Look around. Financially, it's time to walk away from past. It's time to walk away from challenges and difficulties and whatever that you've had and allow yourself to be free by looking for opportunities because there's plenty around you. Okay, Taurus, let's have a look here. And this card is going to give us our information regarding health and well-being for the month of August. Let's have a look and see where you're at. Okay, we have progressed. We've gone from 5, 5, and now we're on a 6. Yay, thumbs up for that. Right, what we have here with the 6 of Wands. She has come back into town, okay, riding on her horse. Isn't she just absolutely fabulous? I'm just loving it. Look at her earrings. Actually, let me bring it closer so that you can see. Look at her earrings. She's even got V for victory on her earrings, and that's exactly what this card is about. This card is about victory. This card is about success. She even has a victory wreath, okay? So she's returning from doing whatever it is that she needed to do, and you can see all the people standing behind her celebrating her return. She has come back victorious. So this is telling you, Taurus, with regards to your health and well-being for the month of August, that you are getting your strength back, that you are coming back stronger than you were, which means that you've had an issue, which means that you have been not at optimal strength or health and well-being. You've been, something's been lacking, something's been amiss, something's been off, but you're back. Okay, during the month of August, I nearly said October, oh my gosh, during the month of August, you are going to return stronger than ever. But again, this cannot happen if we don't do that. Okay, so we may still face 1 or 2 challenges during the month. We may still face 1 or 2 obstacles, but we are definitely, if we get ahead in the game, if we get ahead in the game here, this is what's waiting for you. Health is doing, your health is improving, your health is doing better, you are improving, you are returning to the strong state that you were in before. But only if you look for opportunities, only if you focus on closing the past, leaving the past behind, walking away, and allowing yourself the freedom that you deserve. Okay. I think this is fabulous. I'm really, really liking this particular reading. So Taurus, now we're going to look at these two tarot cards here. And what we're looking at, so this is giving us our sort of overall for the month. We've got our specific areas. Now we want to look at what do you need to embrace during August and what do you need to be careful of during August. So let's have a look and see. What do you need to embrace this month? I get excited. I get excited. We have the dreaded Tower card. And it's the dreaded Tower card because normally in a reading, in a tarot reading, if the Tower card comes up, we're like, oh my gosh, no, 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 no. The Tower card talks about devastation and destruction and all of those bad, bad, bad things. But in this particular case, it's telling you to embrace it because, and it goes back to these two cards. It also goes back to these two cards, okay? The Tower card is basically, and I think maybe again a little bit, let me pick it up if I can. Let me just show you a little bit of insight here on the Tower card. So if we look at this tower was your home, this tower was your base, this tower was your everything, okay? But look at what it was built on. It was built on the top of a mountain, but a very skinny mountain, not a very stable surface. And obviously because of the ground that we had to build a really tall, very thin tower. How practical is that? Not very practical at all. So we've probably been unhappy in our situation for the longest time, but we haven't made any changes. Now, suddenly lightning comes, lightning strikes the tower, everything falls. These are fire that's falling, okay? We have had to jump out of the windows because there's fire in order to save ourselves. When this tragedy is over, we will need to rebuild, okay? We will need to rebuild our tower. We probably, when we rebuild it, we're probably going to think, you know what, tall and skinny doesn't work for me. Maybe we need to extend our base and have a more practical home. So even though the tragedy is awful, even though this is really terrible, it's what we do with it that matters. And the fact that this has come through in your embrace this for the month ahead, it's basically saying to you, once you have closed doors and walked away, found your freedom, found your voice, able to express yourself, you're going to realize that your life wasn't so fabulous anyway, especially when we look at finances and well-being, or sorry, finances and emotions, okay? You're going to realize that your situation wasn't that great to start off with. So the opportunity to rebuild, the opportunity for freedom, the opportunity for success is really there for you. But in order to have that, you have to embrace closure. You have to embrace change. You have to embrace letting go of old thought patterns, processes, systems, people, situations, and circumstances that aren't working for you. Let's see what you need to be careful of for the month. So let's turn this one over. Okay, we have got Temperance. Temperance is a beautiful card because Temperance, and I understand why it's come through for you here, Taurus, because Temperance is the card of balance. It's the card of finding balance between your opposites in life, balance between work and home, balance between finances and emotions, balances between savings and spending, you know, whatever the opposites are in life, it's about finding that balance. And it's telling you to be careful of this because if I look at these two cards, those two cards, and all of these actually, we don't have much balance. All right, balance is the one thing that you seem to be falling short of because you're carrying around so much from your past. So if we can resolve all of this, if we can process all of this, we will have the balance, and then we don't have to be careful of it anymore. But I think it's telling you be careful of this because you don't have balance in your life, and that needs to be your focus for the whole month. It's about finding closure, setting yourself free, and allowing yourself to have a balanced, happy, healthy life that you deserve. But in order to have that, we have to embrace the change. I know change is scary. We don't like it. But I think this is where it's coming in, friends. I really do. I think this is where it's coming in. So listen carefully. Watch this reading again and again and again throughout the month as a reminder to yourself. We need to bring balance into our lives. We need to let go of what doesn't work for us. And we need to close old doors, old systems and processes and set yourself free. All right. Taurus, with love and blessings. From my heart to yours. Until we connect again. Take care. Hello and welcome, Gemini. Welcome to your August 2021 TarotScopes with me, Intuitive Rene. I have shuffled and laid out cards, and the decks that I'm working with and the information around this spread is all in the intro. So if you are curious about which decks I'm using and so on, please do go back to the intro. I want to get straight into your reading, so let's get on and see what does August have in store for you. We're going to start off with these two at the top here, which is going to give us our theme for the month. Oh, look at that. How wonderful, Gemini. We have got the theme of love. Before I comment further, let's have a look and see what this one wants to contribute. Oh, look at that. So we have got love and willpower. And I think, it's so interesting because my immediate take on this is that, love is about soft and gentle and nurturing and caring and compassion and understanding and so forth. Whereas willpower is seen as more stronger, more passionate, more creative almost. So I feel like almost the original or the first take on it is we feel that these are separate, that they're not actually going together, but they do. They go together so well. And I think for you, Gemini, for the month of August, I think it's such a good combo. So it's love of self, it's love of others, it's love of circumstance and situation, but it's also having the strength, the willpower, the courage, and all of those good words to recognize what is right, what is wrong, what you'll accept and what you won't accept. I want to actually just show you on this particular card, if I can get the camera to focus. So here we have this beautiful woman, and you can see it's like she's standing out in the cosmos. She's standing out in the middle of nowhere, and she has the willpower to hold and control the earth. Can you see that? In this hand, she's got the moon. I don't know if you could, if it's going to be very clear on the camera, but she's got the moon in this hand, and she's got the earth on that hand. And if you have a look, there's like a circle of light or a circle of energy where she is the center. So she is the center of the universe. There is this line that goes between them as well. So you're asking yourself, is she bringing them together or is she pushing them apart? What is she doing with the two? But the truth of the matter is she's doing whatever she wants to. And I do think for you, Gemini, I think that's really important. I think it's really significant that you recognize that loving something doesn't mean you have to say yes all the time. Loving someone, loving a something, loving a situation doesn't mean that you have to give in. It doesn't mean you have to be submissive. You can still love and still be strong, determined, and brave. And I think that is such a beautiful theme for the month ahead. I can't wait to see what the rest of the cards have to say for you. So I will bring those energies into each of these 5 cards as well, these tarot cards that we've got here. So now I want to start right over here with this first tarot card. See what this theme has to say around your love. Okay, so this card is going to give us information around your love. And when we talk about love relationships, even if it doesn't matter if you're single, it doesn't matter if you're married, it doesn't matter if your personal circumstances are complicated. Okay, this is about the love connections that you have, your emotional well-being and connection with other people, not necessarily just the love that you have with another person, but it very much could be that as well. So let's have a look and see. In the love department, we have got, look at that, the glorious King of Swords. Isn't she fabulous? This particular tarot deck only has females in it, so it's even got females in masculine roles because obviously females have masculine energy in them as well, and that's what we have here. This is a beautiful mix of feminine versus masculine, and that's exactly, I love it, absolutely beautiful. So King of Swords, let's understand King of Swords first of all. Swords is the suit of the mind. Swords is the suit of the intellect. Swords is the suit of understanding, okay? And king is about masculine, it's about authoritative, it's about a disciplinarian, it's about the person who makes the rules and the structures and all of those kind of things. So this is basically saying to you, Gemini, during the month of August, your emotional connection to other people is going to be a very logical one. Okay, yes, you feel, yes, you've got strong emotions and strong love connections, but during the month of August, it's going to be more around the practical sense. It's going to be more around, I even want to go as far as to say possibly even the physical. It's about the strategy behind your emotional well-being. Okay, so love relationships for you during the following month, during the month of August, is going to be practical. It's going to be more, I'm tempted to use the word superficial, but I'm also hesitant to use that word because superficial is not really, it's not really the word that I'm feeling. It's not really the word that I want to use. I want to say the King of Swords would actually probably fit really well right smack bang in between those two, because we've got the emotions and we've got the willpower. And King of Swords is a good combination of all of that, okay? So your love relationships, your emotional connections with other people, it's going to be about the feels, it's going to be about the emotions, but it's also going to be about having the strength and the willpower and the courage and the conviction to do what's right, to express yourself in the right way, to create circumstances or to create environments that actually are better suited to your needs, wants, and desires. So this is about recognizing your own needs, wants, and desires and sticking with that and following through with that. All right. Here we have your finances. So now we've looked at what's in store for you with regards to love, relationships, and emotions. Now we're going to look at finances, because obviously it's a huge part of who we are. It's a huge part of being human. So August, we have got the Nine of Cups with regards to finances. So there's a couple of things about this card that really stand out to me. First of all, the Nine of Cups is often known as the wishes come true card, okay? And here she's placed her 9 cups almost on this, I'm going to call it this mantle, okay, behind her. And she's sitting very proudly, almost, if you look at her body language, you know, she's almost like a little bit snobby, isn't it? A little bit snooty, a little bit snobby. She's got her arms crossed and she's saying, look at me, look at all that I've achieved. She absolutely can be proud of her accomplishments because she has absolutely done incredibly well. There's a couple of things that stand out to me here. So she's showing off her achievements. She's got them displayed like trophies, which is great because she has accomplished a lot. She has achieved a lot. But it's almost like she's sitting in front of them and it's almost like she's not letting anybody get close to them. So she's almost guarding them, isn't it? And if we look at her body language, she's very confident. She's got a lot of willpower. She's got a lot of courage. She's very proud of her achievements, but she's also not open to any kind of critique, any kind of criticism, or any kind of assistance even. Okay? She's definitely being a little bit snooty. The Nine of Cups, when it comes to your finances, basically what this saying is, it's saying acknowledge your achievements, okay? Take time to acknowledge every success that you have had, all the things that you've managed to do, all the things that you've worked out, everything that's actually been okay for you. Take time to acknowledge that and don't feel like you're perfect. Don't feel like that nobody can give you advice or guidance. Don't be so closed off like she is. It's about recognizing your achievements. It's about recognizing everything that you've done, recognizing what you've done and being proud of that. But also, let's not take it to the extreme where suddenly we become quite full of ourselves and quite snarky about it. So financially, you're sitting pretty. Financially, you seem to be okay. Financially, you seem to be in control of yourself. But I think you need to be, in this case, we were saying you were smack bang in the middle. With the Nine of Cups, I think you're too much there and there's not enough of that. So I want to say we need to bring it down a little bit. Recognize your achievements, be proud of your achievements, but don't let it make you arrogant. Okay. And now we're going to look at your health and well-being for the month of August. So Gemini, what does August have in store for you with regards to health and well-being? And we have the Eight of Cups. Okay. So I know I say it about all the cards, but it's so interesting. All right. So with regards to your health and well-being, what we have here with the Eight of Cups is, here she is, she's done all the work that she's needed to, and she's still feeling very unfulfilled, okay? She's feeling very unfulfilled by these 8 cups that she has laid out so perfectly here. There seems to be one missing. So it's like an imperfect perfectness, okay? And what she's doing now, what this lady is doing, is she's choosing to explore her options. She hasn't made the decision to walk away from this situation yet, but she's exploring her alternates. She's exploring her options. And I think for you, health-wise, things are okay, but things aren't perfect. All right? Because that's what I get, the fact that there's something missing. Your health is okay, but it's not as good as it should be. So we need to explore alternates. Okay? You need to start looking to see what else can you do to either fill in the gap or try something else completely. Okay, so health wise, don't ignore any symptoms, don't ignore anything that's going on with you. Recognize that things aren't as grand and fantastic as they should be. You need to love yourself a little bit more, but you also need to be strong enough to admit that there's something missing. Okay, and you need to then explore alternates, because that's what she's doing here with this card. She's exploring alternates. She's exploring to see what else is available, what else is out there for her, else what else can she do, and how should she do it, etc. That is very, very important. And then on the end here, okay, so Gemini, I have got two cards on the end here, which are new additions this month to the normal reading. And what we've got here is, what do you need to embrace this month, and what do you need to be careful of? So I've used another tarot deck for this. This is my vintage Pam tarot, and let's see, what is it that you need to embrace during the month of August? And we have the Three of Pentacles. So the Three of Pentacles is the card of somebody watching and observing you, and your hard work and your efforts that you put into everything being acknowledged. So if we look at our theme for the month, our theme for the month is trying to find, I'm going to call it the balance between the feels and the emotions, and our courage, our strength, and our conviction. We need to understand that our love relationships during the month of August, you need to take I'm going to say, a more assertive stance in everything that you do. Express yourself openly and clearly. Make sure that people understand what it is that you bring to the table and what it is that you expect of them. Clear communication is what I'm getting now with the King of Swords. The Nine of Cups with regards to finances is about recognizing your achievements, but also being open to a little bit of criticism on how to improve yourself going forward. And I think that's exactly where this card is coming in, because this Three of Pentacles, this is you working over here, and these are people who are coming to look at your creations, to look at the work that you've done, and they're trying to determine if it's what they need, what they want, if they like it, if they don't like it. So they are going to be a little bit critical. They are going to say, oh, actually, no, can you move it there? Can you do it this way? A little bit more of that, a little bit less of that. They are going to have an opinion on whatever you do. And you have to listen to their opinion and take the advice, take the guidance, take what they're saying, and do it without allowing it to throw you off, without allowing it to topple you. So you need to embrace other people's opinions in the work that you do. So I really do think that card is talking to our financial situation here, which has got to do with the income, the monies, etc. that you bring in. And this last card that I have over here, Gemini's got to do with what you need to be careful of. What do you need to be mindful of during the month of August? So we've looked at what you need to embrace, and now we need to see what do you need to be careful of for the month ahead. Yeah, you see, it makes so much sense to me. So here we have the Ten of Wands. He is carrying a heavy burden, and he's been carrying this burden for a very long time. It's tough, it's hard, it's not easy. He's alone, okay? He's completely on his own. There's nobody else around, and there's this little home all the way over there, tiny, tiny, tiny little house. He's still got a ways to go before he gets there. It's been a long, hard journey, a long, hard day, and he's done it all on his own. Whereas, had he actually not been so stubborn, he could have got somebody to help him. His willpower has driven him so much. We need to be careful of this, because what you need to understand going into the month of August is, as much as you're capable, because he clearly is capable, and as much as you are capable, it's not about proving a point and doing everything on your own. It's about finding that balance between the emotions and the willpower, finding that balance between all you've achieved and all you can still achieve, and not feel as if you're done, not feel as if you're complete. It's about checking in on yourself, recognizing that there's something missing, and searching for that missing piece and embracing it in the best way that you can. The Ten of Wands here, I also want to say to you, if he asked somebody for help, if he reached out and said, hey, is there somebody who wants to help me? He would halve his load. And with having half the load, he could achieve so much more. All right. So don't be stubborn. That's what I'm putting here. Be careful of stubbornness. And I do think, Gemini, if you pay attention to this and you recognize that people want to help you, people, when people give you criticism, it's not always a negative. It's not always seen to attack you or to belittle you or anything like that. But sometimes that criticism can help you achieve more success in everything that you do. Don't be so stubborn that you do it all on your own, but also recognize the big thing here is these two. It's about finding that balance between the emotions and the willpower. finding that confidence without it developing into arrogance, without it developing into stubbornness. Okay, clear communication always, especially with people that are important to you, especially with people that mean something significant to you. Clear communication is always important, necessary, and will get you so far. All right, so Gemini, I do hope August is going to be a good one for you. Looking at this, I think it's going to be a good month for you as long as you pay attention to everything that we've given you here. So, with love and blessings from my heart to yours, until we connect again, take care. Hello and welcome to all my Cancerians. Welcome to your August 2021 Taroscopes with me, Intuitive Rene. As you can see, I have shuffled and laid out the cards already. If you want information on the spread that I'm working with, all the cards that I'm working with, please do check out the intro because all that information is there for you. I want to get straight into your reading and see what does the month of August have in store. So we're going to start off with your theme for the month ahead. Let's have a look and see. The first card we have is family. How absolutely wonderful is that? Family is such a beautiful theme. And let's see the other card that we have. Oh, of course, family well-being. Isn't that just the most important thing? So family is going to be your theme for the month. Well-being, I do think it's family well-being, but I also think it's got to do with your own well-being. It's about nurturing yourself, taking care of yourself, and making sure that you have everything that you need, which of course is obviously going to be family. So that's a lovely theme for the month. You know, I want to elaborate on family a little bit because obviously the obvious is that family would be husband, wife, and children. If there's anything like that, family could also be parents, it could be siblings, it could be your own children. But let's extend that. Let's even go beyond blood and DNA. Let's go through to if you're working. You know, the people that you work with on a daily basis, they become like family, don't they? People that are important and significant, people you interact with on a regular basis, whether you like them or not, it doesn't actually matter, but they all become part of your family. So for the month, I know that we're looking at direct family, a husband, wife, and children, but whatever your situation is, let's just include everybody who we interact with on a regular basis as family. I even I even want to add in, you know, if you every day after work stop in at the same tea room, stop in at the same shop, and buy your daily groceries, and you tend to interact with the same person at the teller. I'm not saying that that's family and that's somebody that you need to bring into your home, but it's somebody that you interact with on a regular basis. And I really feel like that's significant with this particular card. I want to make the circle bigger. I want to cover and include everybody we interact with on a regular basis, because they are, even if you only acknowledge them when you're at the shop, even if you only acknowledge them at certain parts of the day, but they all are regular parts of your life, and therefore in a way they are family. um, if you've got family, I just want to, again, if you've got family scattered all around the world, you know, even if, again, you're not interacting with them every single day, but blood is thicker than water. You've heard those kind of sayings. So your theme for the month of August is going to be family, and it's going to be the well-being of the family and the well-being of yourself. I must say that the artwork on this particular card is actually very interesting. I don't know if it's clear to see, but here she lies in the grass, in the ground. She's lying there, this light emanating from her heart center, and creating a sort of a bubble over her. And then there's these kind of, I want to say that they're butterflies, but to me, when I first saw them, I thought they were just sparkles that's sort of going up to the moon. But they're butterflies that are flying off. So she is cocooning herself in this little bubble of light. She is taking care of herself and allowing the change and the transformation to take place. And this is something that's going to be important for you during the month of August for all Cancerians. All right, now let's get on to our tarot, because we've got 5 tarot cards here as well. Our first one is going to be with regards to our love. And I know with everybody, not everybody's in a relationship. We're not all have significant others in our lives. So this has got to do with anybody who is significant in your life, whether it is a relationship. So it doesn't matter if you're married, if you're single, if you're just recently broken up, but it's got to do with your emotional connection with others, with significant other people in your life. And if you are in a relationship, then let it be relevant to that relationship as well. So let's have a look and see what is in store for you for the month of August with regards to love. and we have the beautiful Ace of Cups. Whenever I see the Ace of Cups, the first thing we acknowledge is how the cup runneth over with love. Okay, so you can see how the water is pouring out of the cup in all four sides. We also have these water droplets. We have this hand that's coming out of the clouds. Whenever we see a hand coming out of the clouds in the tarot deck, it is really a gift from spirit. Okay, so it's the Ace of Cups is about somebody new coming into your life. Now, again, if you're married, this isn't saying that you're going to have an affair with somebody you've not met before. Not at all. What it is saying is you need to acknowledge this family that we were talking about here, this extended family, that there may be a new addition to that extended family. It may be a new friend, it may be a new colleague, it may be a new boss, it may be anybody new, it may be somebody within your immediate family's new partner, but there is going to be somebody significant entering into and coming into your life this month. And all you have to do is acknowledge it. All you have to do is welcome them in as family. I am going to say to you, and it's quite interesting how I'm getting quite the strong push. If it is not somebody coming into your life, but somebody coming into your family's life, before you judge them, before you discount them, before you think I don't like them, or before you react to it, just welcome them in. Okay, welcome them in and see them for who they are. Don't be so quick to, I'm going to say, don't be so quick to judge. But relationship wise, emotional, this is definitely saying new energies coming through. If you're in a relationship already, this could also be that we change something when we start taking better care of ourselves and putting our focus onto our significant others. When we start doing that, the relationship may change, and therefore there's a new emotional energy that's going to come into your relationship during the month of August. So be open to giving and receiving love in a new way during the month. I like that. I'm going to say it again. Be open to giving and receiving new emotional energy during the month of August. I like it. Okay, now we're going to move on to the next card, which has got to do with our finances. So financially, with regards to money, with regards to income, what can you expect during the month of August? And we have the devil. So the devil is such an interesting card. And also one of those cards that's really misunderstood when it comes to tarot, because the devil is basically temptation. The devil is basically the things that we constantly think about, stress and worry. That would all be the devil. So if you're constantly obsessing and focusing and talking about how much money you don't have, that is the devil working through you or working on you. And whatever you're saying is what you're manifesting for yourself. So with this devil card coming up with our finances, it's really saying to you, let's bring it back to the well-being. Be very mindful of the words that you use when talking about your financial situation. If you're talking about, oh, I wish I had more money. If you keep saying things like, oh, I can't afford that right now. If you keep saying to yourself things of, I don't have enough. If those are the words, if that's how you're starting all your sentences about money, that is the devil working through you and creating that reality. You can change it by being mindful of what you're saying, changing the words that you're saying, spending a bit of time focusing on yourself. And if you did that, then you're not going to suffer the effects of the devil, of the temptation, and of the obsessions. So the devil is a card of addictions. It's the card of obsessions. It's the card of stress, worry, and anxiety. But it's also a card saying to you that you are creating that environment for yourself. So if we have a look at the physical image, so there sits the devil being, okay? And we have two people here who are chained to this pillar that the devil is sitting on. So they feel as if they are trapped. They feel as if they are connected to. But the truth is, and I'm actually going to bring it a bit closer to show you. Look at the chains around their neck. Can you see how loose they are? Can you see how they're hanging quite loosely? So if they actually wanted to, they could just put it over their heads and walk away. But they have put themselves in this position. They have voluntarily given up their power, given up their authority to the stress, to the worry, to the anxiety. So financially, friends, for all my Cancerians out there, financially, this is telling you stop worrying. Stop worrying, stop stressing. I know it's easier said than done, but you've got to recognize that whatever you're thinking, whatever you're saying, whatever you're putting out there is what you are manifesting. Spend some time focusing on your well-being. Spend some time focusing on all the achievements and all the successes that you have had. Spend some time focusing on being grateful for what it is that you do have, so that we can change this circumstance. This is not real. This is not the truth. Okay, this is just your perceptions. All right, we're now going to move on to our next card. And this card has got to do with your health and well-being. This card has got to do with your physical body. And let's see what is in store for you on that level for the month of August. Queen of Cups. How beautiful. I love her. She is just so gorgeous. She's got this beautiful mermaid on her chair. And she's sitting, you can see her throne. Her throne is there on the ground, on the land, but her feet and stuff is right there in the water. Water is representative of emotions. She is beautiful. And what she's doing is she is filling from her cup and sharing with others. She is more concerned around other people than she is concerned around herself. She is all about nurture. She's all about the emotion. She's all about taking care of the people around her. Okay, so for you, health and well-being wise, it's basically saying to you that you need to be gentler with yourself. All right, you need to pay more attention to your own well-being. You need to pay attention to allowing yourself the opportunity to rest, to recuperate, to replenish, drink from your own cup. All right, this, I really think, even though this has got to do with our finances, I really think for each one of you that this has been, I'm going to call it, the biggest challenge that you are facing at the moment is the stress, the worry, and the anxiety. And I get it. We're living in really peculiar times at the moment. So I'm not surprised that we have this situation. I'm not surprised that this is impacting on you. But I really think that you've got to spend as much time as you can just nurturing your soul, focusing on your well-being, spending time with your family, nurturing yourself, and just, I want to say, filling your own cup. Okay, if you can focus on that, if you can bring your attention to that, I think you're going to feel so much better. So on a health and well-being point of view, it's about nurturing the self. It's about taking care of the self. It's about focusing on your own well-being, spending time with family, doing things that give you a sense of joy, doing things that give you a sense of happiness, a sense of accomplishment, a sense of fact that everything's going to be okay. You need to take care of yourself. I know it's who you are, to take care of other people, to provide for other people, but you need to look after yourself first and foremost. And if you can do that, family and well-being, bring all of that into it, this will be easy to overcome. All right. I think that's quite important. Okay, so Cancerians, now we've got two cards left, and this is now from a different tarot deck. And this is going to be what you need to embrace for the month and what you need to be careful of for the month. So let's see, what do you need to embrace during August 2021? We have got the Page of Swords. I like Page of Swords. To me, Page of Swords is about learning. Page of Swords is about lessons. Page of Swords is about recognizing your limitations, your restrictions, and it's learning what you can and can't do. So I think with everything that we've covered with these two cards, I think that makes complete sense. So embrace the learning, embrace the lessons, embrace taking care of yourself now during the month. But it's about recognizing that you don't have all the answers, that you don't, not everything is perfect. And we can see that with everything that we've got here, that everything isn't perfect. And it's just about embracing that, recognizing that, you know what, sometimes we have to bump our heads in order for us to learn. Sometimes we have to make a mistake so that we can fix it, change it. And that's how we learn, and that's how we grow, and that's how we achieve so much more. So embrace the lessons this month. Don't feel as if the whole world is against you, because it's not. You've put yourself in that position, and you are the only one who can change it. So embrace the lessons, learn what you can, so that you can focus on yourself more and have the happier family life that you so want and deserve. And then finally, this is what you need to be careful of during the month. So what do you need to mind, look out for? What do you need to be careful of during the month of August? We have another swords card, and what we have here is the Five of Swords. So Five of Swords is a very interesting card, because the Five of Swords says that sometimes you have to be nasty. And I know we don't like it, and especially when I look at all of these cards that we've got, excluding that one, if we look at all of these, we can see that you don't like being nasty. We can see that you're always about focusing on other people and other people's happiness and other people's well-being, and family above all else. But this Five of Swords is basically saying to you that sometimes you have to stand up and face that devil. Sometimes you have to stand up and say no. We don't like saying no. We really don't like saying no, but this is telling you, be careful of it. Be careful of the fact that you don't like saying no, and therefore people take advantage of you. So this card is telling you, learn to say no. Put healthy boundaries in place. Don't let people take advantage of you, okay? And I really do think with this devil card here, and it's interesting, it's in the position of looking at our finances, but if we look at the spread, it's in the center of everything. And I do think that this devil energy impacts on each of the cards connected to it or around it. And that's exactly why you've got this Five of Swords here. The Five of Swords is basically saying to you, understand and recognize that there are times in life where you have to say no. And be careful of people taking advantage of your kindness, of your generosity, of your soft nature. Learn the lessons that you need to learn, recognize the things that you need to learn, and focus on this. This is the most important thing that you can. This is the most important, this is relevant, this is appropriate, and this is the most significant thing. Look after yourself. Be open to new people coming into your life, recognizing the restrictions and the limitations, but not letting them overrun you. Learn that you are what you think and what you feel and what you're saying is creating your reality. So be very much aware of that. Focus on family, focus on well-being of self and well-being of the family. Learn the lessons that you need to learn and say no when it's appropriate to do so. All right. So, Cancerians, I do hope that this reading helps and guides you through the month of August. As always, with love and blessings from my heart to yours. Until we connect again, take care. Hello, Leo, and welcome to your August 2021 TarotScopes. As you can see, I have shuffled and laid out the cards that we're going to be working with this month. And if you want to know about the decks that I've used in particular, all that information is in the intro, so do go back and check that out. We are going to get straight into your reading to see what does August 2021 have in store for you. And we're going to start with these two cards across the top here, which are going to give you the theme for the month. So let's have a look and see. Oh, look at that. Oh, isn't that interesting? So before I talk about forgiveness, it is obviously Leo season, which means it's Leo birthday month. So for those of you who are celebrating your birthday during July, happy birthday. I do hope it's going to be an awesome one for you. And looking at that card, I think it is going to be very interesting. So as you can see, the theme that we have for you, the first card we have is forgiveness. And it's very interesting because every time I see this particular card, immediately when I see forgiveness, I think, okay, who's forgiving who? Are you forgiving yourself? Are you needing to forgive somebody else? Are you needing to forgive a situation or a circumstance? But every time I look at this card, it's almost like there's this light coming. I don't know if you can see it, like there's this light coming around her head, and the light is sort of shining out from that. You can even see that there's a light angle or a light arc over there. So it's, to me, every time I see this, it's about forgiveness of self. But let's have a look and see what the other card is, and then we can explain and elaborate further. Right, forgiveness and financial health. So Leo, very interesting. So it's telling you during this birthday month of yours, during August and everything that's coming up for you, the focus is going to be on our financial health and forgiving ourselves for not achieving, or forgiving ourselves for a situation or a circumstance that happened, that transpired, and maybe didn't quite work out the way that you had anticipated or hoped that it would. So that's going to be the theme, and I'm going to bring it into all the other cards that we're going to be looking at today as well. So let's have a look at the tarot, and the first one we're looking at is your love or your emotional connection. So it doesn't matter what your relationship status is. It doesn't matter if you're single, if you're married, if you're in a committed relationship, or if it's complicated, whatever it is. But this card's going to talk about your connection with somebody else, or your connection with others, your emotional connection with other people, or with a significant other, depending on your circumstance. So let's see what's in store for you with regards to love. And I love it. We have got the gorgeous Ten of Pentacles. So Ten of Pentacles is the card of abundance. It's the card of having everything your heart desires. It's the card of having an excess of love, of happiness, of joy, of opportunity. So what we have here is we have a couple, we have a child, we have an older generation, and we even have the dogs. And everybody has come together for the same reason, for the same purpose. We've come together in happiness and joy. We are enjoying life together. We're enjoying each other's company. We're enjoying each other. And life is just fabulous. So when it comes to love for you during the month of August, know that there is going to be excess, there's going to be extra, there's going to be abundance, there's going to be opportunity to celebrate. And being your birthday month, that would make sense. Everybody's going to be acknowledging you, everybody's going to be expressing their love and admiration and gratitude and all of those kind of good things for you. So Ten of Pentacles is basically saying for the month, love is going to be flowing, it's going to be easy, it's going to be fantastic. But remember what we're looking at here, and it's going to be very interesting to see what this card, because this card, when we turn it over, is going to be reflecting or talking about our finances. So it'll be interesting to see how this all ties in. As much as we are enjoying, as much as the month is going to be about happiness and joy and all those kind of good things, we do need to just bring ourselves back to this theme, bring ourselves back to this situation. And Leo, understand that forgiveness of self. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't put that kind of external pressure on yourself. Don't feel as if you're like, don't think that you're not good enough or that you coulda, woulda, shoulda. Don't put that kind of pressure on yourself. Forgive yourself for something that has happened in the past. Forgive yourself for maybe not being as fantastic as you want to be or as you think you are. And understand that working towards financial health and well-being is the most important thing at the moment. So let's go straight into our finances and let's have a look and see what the message is that we have here for the month ahead. Yeah, you see, I thought so. I could have called it. We have got what is traditionally known as the nightmare card, stress and anxiety and worry and all of those kind of things. So when we look at this particular card, the first thing we notice is that she's sitting in her bed, okay? And the bed is the one place where we generally tend to sort of release or remove the masks, remove the smiley face that isn't really real. It's when we are most honest with ourselves, and it's when we have our most stress and our most worry. So she's sitting up in bed in the middle of the night and she is traumatized, she is upset, she is stressed, she is angry, she is feeling all of those kind of emotions. And I do think it's telling you that where you're at in your life at the moment, we understand that we have good people around us. We understand that emotionally we're okay. Emotionally things are looking up. Emotionally things are all right. But financially, maybe things aren't as great as they could be. Financially, things aren't as great as they should be, could be, would be, or as you would need them to be or want them to be. But you're being too self-critical. You're being too hard on yourself. And Leo, I know, Leo energy is normally, brave and leadership and courageous and all of those kind of good things, but that's your public persona. That is what you put out there to the public. So anybody who sees you, anybody that interacts with you, they see that strong, brave, courageous outlook. But actually the truth of the matter is, underneath the surface, underneath all of that, is a person who doesn't feel as confident as they appear on the outside. So to the outside world, everything's looking fabulous, but the stress and the anxiety happening on the inside is actually quite crippling. And I do think it's got to do with finances. It's got to do with your ability to provide for yourself and to provide for others and to have the things that you want or that you need or that you deserve. But you are being too hard on yourself. You do need to forgive yourself. You do need to take a bit of pressure off, and you do need to allow yourself a little bit of freedom and a little bit of wiggle room. Don't be, let's be honest, we don't all get what we want all the time. Sometimes life is full of a give and take. It's sometimes you have and sometimes you don't have. And for you at the moment, I really think you're being too hard on yourself. You are being too tough, and we need to ease up a little bit. We need to practice a little bit of self-forgiveness, and we need to understand that we will get back to where we want to be. It'll happen. What I am seeing in this particular card, and I don't know if you can see it here, but there's a tiny little bluebird of happiness at the top of the tree there. And that is an indication, and that is a sign that actually things are going to be okay. But you have to forgive self, and you need to get over the stress and the anxiety first. All right. Leo, let's have a look and see health and well-being. So this card over here is going to give us an indication of your health and well-being and the things that you're going through on a physical level. Let's see what August has in store for you there. Okay, so we have the Hermit card, and the Hermit card is the card of solitary. It's the card of introspection. It's the card of contemplation. It's the card of not relying on anybody. And it's very interesting here with the emotions, with the love card. We had whole family, we had generations, we have animals with fur babies. There is an abundance of people, okay? Everybody coming together to celebrate and acknowledge you, but actually, on a physical level, because maybe of the stress and anxiety that you're going through, on a physical level, you just want to actually regroup on your own. You don't want this kind of external pressure and this external kind of energy. You actually want to just be able to figure things out for yourself. So the Hermit card is the card of introspection. It's the card of, and I really want to connect the Hermit card with forgiveness, because the only way that you're going to forgive yourself, the only way that you're going to take this kind of pressure off yourself, is when you spend a bit of time acknowledging all that you have already accomplished, all that you have already done, and all that you are already, okay, who you are at that kind of basic level. So spending time with yourself, being okay with yourself, and not allowing yourself to be influenced by external stresses and things like that. Practice self-forgiveness. Recognize the people that you have around you who love you unconditionally, who are there for you, but also just wanting to escape a little bit, and also just wanting to have 5 minutes to yourself. So on a health and well-being point of view, you need to spend a little bit more time, I'm going to say, nurturing the self, taking better care of yourself, doing things that make you happy and not things that make everybody else happy. It's about being more focused on your own needs, wants, and desires, and being okay with that, and releasing yourself from the stresses, the anxiety. So I am going to say to you, do things that give you a sense of joy. Do things that give you a sense of happiness. Do things that give you a sense of exhaling and just knowing that everything's going to be okay, because it is. Because it is. So Leo, looking at all of this, and I do think birthday month is such a good time to sort of go through these kind of motions, because you know your birthday is the anniversary of your revolution around the sun, and it's almost like an opportunity for a fresh start. It's an opportunity for a fresh beginning. It's an opportunity for a do-over. And in order to have that kind of opportunity to start afresh, we have to practice forgiveness. We have to deal with our anxieties and our stresses, and we have to focus more on the self so that we can do the things that we need to do. All right. We've got two more cards on the side here that I want to look at, and this is now from a different tarot deck completely. And what we're looking at here is, what is it that you need to embrace this month, and what is it that you need to be careful of? So we've got the two cards, and let's turn them over and see what is the message that we get here. Of course, assuming I can pick them up. Oh, look at that. I think this is fabulous. This is the Ten of Pentacles, the same as this card. So this card has come up twice for you in these two decks. And this is what you need to embrace. So as much as we've got financial worries and concerns, Ten of Pentacles is about financial abundance. It's about having excess. It's about having extra. I read the excess and the extra here with regards to emotions and relationships because it's in the position of love. But here, under embrace, what you need to embrace this month, it's telling you that even though you may be being a little bit too hard on yourself with regards to finances, you also need to recognize that you do have excess, that there is abundance, that there is everything that you need is catered for. Everything that your heart desires is actually there, financially, emotionally, spiritually, everything. But you need to embrace it. You need to embrace the life that you've created for yourself. You need to embrace everything that you have around you. And in this same card, we have got the couple, we've got the dogs, we've got the baby, and we've got the grandmother. They are absolutely identical. And even if you look at the actual positionings of each of the pentacles, they are all exactly the same. So even though it's a completely different deck, it is the same card with the same interpretation, and it's spirit telling you, embrace this, embrace the abundance that is available to you. Embrace the excess and don't feel guilty about it. Don't feel guilty about taking time for yourself, to take care of yourself and to nurture yourself. Don't feel guilty. I think that's fabulous. Right, and this last card is what you need to be careful of during the month. So what do you need to be mindful of? What do you need to be careful of during August? And we have the Wheel of Fortune. So very interesting indeed, because the Wheel of Fortune is about leaving things up to chance, leaving things up to the universe. It's about just allowing things to unravel or to happen in their own time. And that's what you need to be careful of. In other words, don't just go along for the ride. Don't just let things happen in their own time. You need to be in the driver's seat. You need to be taking control, and you need to be navigating your circumstances, your situation, your healing on your own. Don't just hope that, okay, you know what, maybe next week I'll have the chance, or maybe next week the opportunity. No, you need to not trust that things will happen as they're supposed to. You need to make them happen the way that they're supposed to. Wheel of Fortune is the karma card, and it's telling you to be careful of karma. Be careful of just allowing things to happen. You need to be more, I'm going to say more assertive, really, and not feel such a victim. Don't feel as if things aren't going according to plan. Actually, dry your tears, wipe your face, and get back on track, recognizing that the only person you can trust and believe in is yourself. And if you can do that and believe in the abundance that is available to you, you're going to have all the success and the happiness that you want, that you need, and that you deserve. But I am going to repeat, Leo, it's time to practice some forgiveness. Who and what you need to forgive, that is up to you. That will be a personal thing for you. But I do think it's a forgiveness of self around something to do with the finances. And it's interesting that we got the two tens of pentacles, which talks about financial abundance. So Leo, happy birthday once again. I do hope that you have a fantastic month, with love and blessings from my heart to yours. Until we connect again, take care. Hello, Virgo, and welcome to your August 2021 TarotScopes. As you can see, I have shuffled and laid out the cards, and I have them on the table here with me. If you are interested in the decks that I've used this month, or in the layout of what we've got going this month, please do check out the intro. I do have all that information for you right there in the intro that will explain exactly what cards or decks I'm working with, and the layout or the spread that we're doing. I want to get straight into your reading because I'm very curious to see what does August 2021 have in store for you. So we're going to start with these two cards at the top here, which are going to give us the theme for the month ahead. And the first card we have is well-being. Oh, I like that. That's very interesting. So it's about recognizing who you are on a physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, all levels. And it's about recognizing and understanding your well-being, and almost making sure that that's your focus. So it's focusing on your own personal well-being. I am going to include that, the well-being of those nearest and dearest to you. So well-being and overall happiness. So it's not just about emotional happiness, and it's not just about the job side or the finances. It's about overall well-being. I know it's not always that clear to see on camera, but there is a lady lying in the grasses here, lying on the ground, and she has this bubble of light over her. And this bubble of light is all encompassing. It's completely surrounding her, completely enveloping her, protecting her, and assisting with the well being. And then coming off at the back here is a whole lot of butterflies. And butterflies are all about change and transformation. So it's about protecting and looking after your own personal well being. And as I said, the well-being of those that are nearest and dearest to you, and ensuring that everybody goes through the change that is necessary for evolution and for growth. Let's have a look and see the other card connected to that, if I could, of course, pick it up. We have love, love, love. So I do think the well-being that we are referencing, as much as it is all-encompassing and as much as it has got to do with everything, I do think a huge part of it has got to do with romance, love, connection, understanding, commitment with another. And what is interesting with this particular love card is that she's on her own. It's not two people that are embracing or two people coming together. She is on her own, and she is holding a crystal. It looks like a piece of rose quartz, which is the crystal of love. And that's this whole pink energy that's coming off it. But it's the love of self. If you have a look at, there's this, like here, she has this, I want to call it a cocoon of light. She seems to have a cocoon of light around her as well. So it's about the well-being of self-love. Gosh, I want to write that down because it sounds fabulous. So, for you, Virgo, for the month of August, it's about recognizing and learning and accepting and really learning how to love yourself, to accept yourself unconditionally. But that love is such a powerful energy, and it's an energy us humans don't use enough. We use love more in a negative sense to hold on to a person, to attract a person, to keep a person, to enslave a person. But there's not very much unconditional love. It's like, I will love you when you do that. I will love you when you become that. Or I will love you once this has happened, once you've stopped that or let go. It's very conditional, our love. And unconditional love of self is such an important thing. And clearly, this is going to be your theme for the month ahead. So, with no further ado, we're going to jump into our tarot. We've got all these tarot cards here that we're going to go through, starting off with this one over here. So, Virgo, this card is here to represent love. It's to represent your emotional well-being. So it doesn't matter what your relationship status is. It doesn't matter if you're married, if you're single, if you're in a complicated relationship, if you've just broken up. It doesn't matter what your situation is. But this card is going to reflect and give us information on the love that you have, the love that you give, the love that you receive, your connection to somebody or to other people. But whatever your emotional the emotional aspects of your life, really. So let's have a look and see what's in store for you with regards to love in August. And we have the interesting Eight of Cups. And I say it's an interesting Eight of Cups because there's a couple of things that really jump out at me with this card. So we have this person who is walking away. We have this person who has decided that this situation over here no longer feeds their soul, no longer inspires them, no longer excites them, and really doesn't have a purpose. So they've made the decision to walk away. They are choosing to step into, or to just go a little bit beyond, go across the shores and go and look to see what else is out there. So it's almost exploring options, is the word I want to use. The interesting thing, though, is that they have very diligently placed these eight cups, as you can see here. There's five across the bottom, and then there's three over there. They have very diligently placed them, perfectly spaced, perfectly balanced, perfect, but there is this gap. There's something missing. So I often ask myself when this card comes up, is this person going off in search of the missing cup? Are they in search of perfect relationship? Are they in search of perfect? Have they decided that this current situation is not good enough for them anymore, and that's why they're venturing off to see what else is out there? Or have they just realized that there's something missing in the current situation? So please understand, for each one of you during the month of August, you are going to be questioning, because that's what I do with this card. I question everything. When it comes to your love connections with other people, with either one significant person, your family, your friends, your work colleagues, anybody you have an emotional connection with, there's going to be a lot of questions around that. And because your focus for the month is on love of self and self well being, I definitely think you're going to be questioning every emotional connection that you have with somebody, with people, and saying, what am I getting from this? What's in it for me? Am I completely fulfilled in my current circumstances, or is there something missing? And if there is something missing, what do I have to do to change that? Where do I have to go? What do I have to do in order to find that missing piece? And that's going to be what you're going to do on an emotional level during the month ahead. Very interesting. And now, Virgo, we're going to have a look at your finances. So, financially and materially, what is your situation? What are you going to be dealing with during the month of August? And we have the dreaded Tower card. So the Tower card is never a really pretty card, okay? And it's not really one that you want to get excited about. It's not really one that you really look forward to seeing, because the Tower card talks about devastation and destruction. And we can see that here, okay? So the tower has been struck by lightning. There is fire. There are flames. There is, absolute chaos. People have had to jump out of the building. This person has even landed and got themselves really well impaled on these sharp crystal shards. But what we have to ask ourselves is, whose idea was it to build there in the first place? It wasn't a very smart idea. And when the Tower card comes up, it often says to you, reevaluate your I want to say your background, reevaluate your foundation, reevaluate what you're doing, why you're doing it, and who said. Okay, ask yourself financially, with everything that you're going through at the moment, because this is telling you that you're going through a lot. Financially, you are going through a lot. There is a little bit of chaos. Things are not smooth sailing. Things are a little bit upside down. And if at the time, the first time you listen to this reading, if things are great, expect things to turn, okay? Expect a little bit of chaos, expect a little bit of upheaval. But I do think it's completely necessary, because every single time the Tower card comes up in a reading, it's telling you that there's chaos, but it's also telling you that let's not focus on the lightning and the fire. Let's let the storm pass, because the storm will pass. Situation will evolve, it will change, it will dissipate. Once the storm has passed, and you can already see that the clouds are starting to break up, so the storm is already dissipating a little bit. Once the storm has dissipated, once the storm is over, we can evaluate our situation, we can evaluate the destruction, we can evaluate what's left, and then we can decide on the rebuild. One thing is absolutely certain: rebuild will happen. Okay, so financially, you may struggle, you may have one or two challenges, one or two complications this month. It's not about the problem, it's about how you react and respond to the problem after the event. So prepare yourself, get yourself ready for that. But also, when the trouble hits, when the problem arises, when the challenge comes up, don't get caught up in the drama, don't get caught up in the chaos. Let it flow, let it happen, let it evolve. And then the following day, when the sun comes out again, we can reevaluate and we can repair, fix, mend, and improve on what was already a bit of a dodgy situation to start off with. All right. Our next card that we're going to have a look at, Virgo, this card over here is going to be referencing your health and well-being. So on a physical level, what have you got in store for you during the month, and what do you need to be aware of? And we have the glorious Nine of Pentacles. So Nine of Pentacles is what we refer to as the card of opulence. Okay, Nine of Pentacles is the card of excess, it's the card of opulence, it's a card of too much. So I do think the message that I'm getting here with regards to health and well-being, with regards to protecting self and nurturing self, I do think this card is saying to count your blessings one by one. All right, acknowledge that you do have an excess, and maybe that's where this kind of tower moment is coming from as well. So it's about acknowledging the excess that you have, acknowledging the abundance that you have, acknowledging everything that's going on around you. And I almost want to say being grateful. Okay, practice a bit of gratitude for what you do have, the excess that's there for you. But I also want to say, from a health and well-being, is make sure that you're not doing everything excessively. All right, so if you're eating a lot of cake, if you're eating a lot of chocolate, if you're drinking a lot of alcohol, whatever your situation is, just make sure that it's not excessive. Let's try and keep everything in balance, because remember what I was saying about well-being earlier. Well-being is all about finding balance. It's all about having that understanding, that wholeheartedly, whole body well-being. It's not just focusing on one area, it's focusing on the whole situation. And that's what you need to do. You need to recognize the excess. So are you exercising excessively? Are you eating excessively? Are you drinking excessively? Are you partying excessively? Or are you starving yourself excessively? Something is happening in excess with regards to your physical being, and you need to be mindful of it. You need to be aware of your well-being, your whole self well-being. And remember, it's all about self-love. You've got to learn to love yourself, warts and all, challenges and all, shortcomings and all, whatever it is. Learn to love yourself and learn to be okay with who you are. Don't feel like you need to do everything in excess. Okie dokie. We are now going to go on to these two cards over here, and this has got to do with what you need to embrace in life and what you need to be careful of during the month. So let's get straight into it and see, what do you need to embrace? We have got High Priestess. I love High Priestess. She is my card. I just adore her. She is the card of knowledge, of inspiration, of guidance, of motivation. She contains a wealth of knowledge. She keeps it all to herself. You can see on her lap, she has the scroll of tarot. She has the scroll of knowledge, the scroll of life, really. That's what it is. She is very well balanced and very well poised. Nothing throws her off her pedestal, if I can put it that way. She's very controlled, and she's very understanding, and she's very compassionate, and she's just so perfect. She recognizes that sometimes we have to stump our toe in order to learn that that's not where you put your feet. Okay, she's not going to stop you from stumping your toe if she recognizes that you will learn a lesson. And this is what you've got to recognize. I want to bring it back to the Tower card, to the well-being, to the love, to the exploring and questioning, and to the excess. You've got to start asking yourself, where's the balance? Where's the duality? Where's that compromise in life? Where am I doing too much and too little? Where am I questioning, or where haven't I been questioning, or where am I questioning? What is going on? What is my foundation? Why did I build there? Why did I create that? Question everything. But it's also about recognizing your accomplishments. It's also about recognizing that which is balanced and fabulous in your life. It's not just about where's the unbalance, but where is it that you have balance. So embrace that for yourself this month. Don't just focus on what's gone wrong. Focus on the well-being and focus on the self-love. And if you bring all of that into it, you will have wholehearted well-being and happiness. And finally, Virgo, we are looking at what do you need to be careful of during the month ahead. Let's have a look. So we have got Justice. Very interesting. Justice is the card of what's right. I mean, it's the only way I can put it, but it's also the card of balance. It's also the card of duality. It's the same words, okay? But justice is about doing things for the right reasons at the right time, expecting the right outcomes. So again, it feeds into everything that I've said to you already. Be careful of doing things in excess. Be careful of focusing on the wrong things, and to be careful of questioning too much or not questioning enough. But it's about recognizing the difference between right and wrong. It's about recognizing what is good for you and what's not good for you. It's about recognizing the law of the universe, the law of attraction, the law of everything. Just recognizing the law. Be careful of that, because you're not going to be able to get away from it. If you try and avoid what's right, it's going to come back and bite you. Okay, it's going to come back and it's going to bite you, and you need to make sure. And the only way that you can prevent that is by sticking to the rules, sticking to what's right, and don't deviate from that path. But remember, self-love and whole body well-being is the focus of the month ahead. So Virgo, I do hope you have a fantastic August with love and blessings from my heart to yours. Until we connect again, take care. Hello, 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 and welcome, Libra. Welcome to your August 2021 TarotScopes with me, Intuitive Rene. And as you can see, I have laid out the cards that we're going to be working with this month. If you want information on the decks that I've used, which decks these are, and about the layout and the spread, please do check out the intro, because all that information is there. I want to get straight into your August reading and see what the month has in store for you. So we're going to start with these two cards across the top here, which are going to give us our theme and the overall kind of idea for the month ahead. So let's have a look and see, what does August 2021 have in store for you. So we have the first card is the card of grieving. And obviously grieving is not a really good kind of word to start with, but you know what it is? It's about acknowledging that which is no longer. That is immediately what I'm hearing when I see this card. It's about acknowledging that which doesn't exist in your life anymore. And it could be something as simple as weight loss. It could be something as simple as, buying a new pair of shoes. And it's about acknowledging the function and the purpose that something or someone has had in your life, and the fact that they are gone, and the fact that, you know what, it's okay. You are progressing, you are moving on, you're continuing, even though that thing or that person no longer does. So grieving it's not just about somebody passing away. Please don't let that panic set in. Don't fear that someone's dying. That's not what grieving is saying. Grieving is about, and it could be something that you lost, something or someone that you lost 10 years ago. Maybe you haven't completed the grieving process. Maybe there's still some emotion connected and attached to that situation. So anything that you lost, whether it be a physical item, a person, a relationship, a job, anything, it doesn't matter what it is, you've lost something in the past that you maybe still have unresolved feelings about. And during this month, we're going to be processing, we're going to be acknowledging. So it's about acknowledging and recognizing something or someone that no longer exists in your life. Let's have a look and see the second card, because it might offer a little bit more information. Spirit guide. So, see, now suddenly things start getting very interesting indeed. So Libra, what this is saying to you, you've got to recognize and you've got to understand that during the month of August, there is going to be acknowledgement of something or someone that you've lost. And spirit are creating the situation for you. Your spirit guides are driving this because you may be in a position of being stuck. You may have been hitting a brick wall. You're coming up against the brick wall and you're not progressing, you're not moving forward with your life. And you probably can't until you have completed this grieving process, until you've acknowledged that which no longer exists. So, spirit are doing this to you on purpose. It's quite interesting how these two cards have got such a similar kind of coloring and vibe to them. And I do think it's because this is definitely spirit ordained. And spirit are definitely orchestrating this situation, because in order for you to progress and evolve and to move forward in your life, you need to grieve, you need to acknowledge that which no longer exists. I think that's actually very interesting. And it's going to be something different for every single one of you, okay? Every single one of you is going to experience this grieving on a different level, regarding a different situation, regarding something different. It's not going to be the same for everybody. And I think that there's some beauty and some magic in that too. All right, so now we're going to move on to our tarot cards that I've got laid out here. And the first tarot card that we're going to be looking at, Libra, is got to do with your love for the month ahead. But we need to understand that it doesn't matter what your relationship situation is. It doesn't matter if you're married, if you're single, whatever your circumstances are. This has got to do with the love that you have for others, or for one other person, or for your family or your circumstances. But it is your emotional connection to others is what we're looking at here. So let's see what is in store for you. And we have got the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands is a card of, I'm going to call it exhaustion. It's the card of, having been busy with something for the longest period and actually feeling, a beautiful South African term is kaput. Okay, feeling exhausted, feeling fed up, feeling like I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I don't know if I have the energy to carry on. Feeling like I want to get off the bus. Okay, so the Nine of Wands, and it's quite interesting. I want to actually pick it up and show you. She's got a bandage across her head. Can you see there? And she's even got bandages or gloves or something on her hands. But and you can see she's a little bit disheveled. You can see by her hair, it's a little bit all over the place. So she's been, whatever she's been doing, she's been busy with it for the longest time, and she's exhausted, fed up, a bit irritated, a bit grumpy even, and she's not feeling happiness and roses. Now we understand where this is coming from. So this is not saying to you that your relationships are bad, but it's definitely saying that emotionally you are spent. Emotionally, you're feeling like it's all been a little bit too much. You're emotionally drained, you're emotionally exhausted, and almost, I want to even add to it, emotionally fed up. And you know what? It's okay. Process it, feel it, go through it. Do not avoid these emotions, because I think, again, human nature is what we do. We've been programmed and we've been brought up and raised to believe, that you've got to suck it up and deal with it. Put on a smile and pretend like everything's okay. Fake it until you make it. Those are the kind of words that come at you. But I think this is spirit saying to you, it's so important that you process these emotions. Do not compact, do not suppress, do not push down, do not ignore, you have to actually deal with it. And I think, the people in your life that this relates to, because it might not just be one person, it may be a whole series of people, it may be the whole family, it may just be your partner, it may just be your parent, your sibling, your child, it could be just one person, or it could be everybody. You will know who it is. But I think this is saying to you, you need to acknowledge your feelings out loud to everybody. Don't bottle it up. Don't keep it to yourself. You need to process the feelings. You need to process everything that you're going through. You need to grieve. You need to go through the feelings of everything that you've lost, everyone that you've lost, and feel the feels, because you've been holding it in. You've been putting on a brave face. You've been pretending, if I can say, for the longest time. And you're at a point now where you just can't be doing it anymore. Okay. It's a bit of a tough one, but I think it's necessary. I really do think it's necessary. And there's so much freedom in grieving. There's so much freedom in releasing that emotion and just allowing yourself to feel, to sit and have a good cry. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of strength. All right, friends, we're going to now move on to our next card here. And this has got to do with your finances. This has got to do with your money and your material possessions. So let's have a look and see what does August have in store for you. Queen of Wands. All right. So interesting that we've got the two wands coming through. Immediately, it's about the doing, it's about the action, it's about the achievement, it's about all of those kind of things. Look at our Queen of Wands. Isn't she fabulous? She is, I'm going to call her the no nonsense person. She is somebody, she has compassion. She certainly has feelings. She certainly is an emotional being, but she's also the one who clicks her fingers and things get done. Okay. She's not afraid to be assertive. She's not afraid to put herself out there. She's not afraid to take control of a situation. And she does it thinking about, caring about, and considering everybody else's feelings. But she's also practical. I think that's a really good word to use for our Queen of Wands, is she's practical. If you want anything done, Queen of Wands is your go-to person. Queen of Wands is she's gonna have your back. Okay. So financially, you're probably feeling quite confident. Financially, you're probably feeling like, even if there's not a lot of money, but you're feeling confident that you can handle your current predicament, handle your current situation. So Queen of Wands is confidence. She knows what needs to be done. She knows the steps that need to be taken, and she has compassion and understanding for other people, but she doesn't let that stop her from achieving the things that she needs to do. She has her own set of goals, and she's going to work through that in her own time. Nobody is going to stop her. All right. And I think financially, I really want to say it's a beautiful place to be. So this grieving that spirit are bringing to you, it certainly doesn't seem to be with regards to finances. Finances seem to be okay. It's the rest of it so far that seem to be where your attention is needed. Okie dokie. So Libra, we're now going to go into this card over here, which has got to do with your health and well-being. So your physical body, what's going on with your health and well-being during the month. And we have the King of Swords. Okay. So I love that we've got King and Queen energy side by side. I do think that's quite interesting and quite appropriate, I almost want to say. King of Swords, King is very much controlled energy. King is very much leadership, confidence, structure, rules, discipline, all of that kind of thing. And King of Swords has got all of that energy with regards to thoughts, with regards to intellect, with regards to the headspace. So financially, sorry, let me not say financially, that was financially, I'm getting my words all mixed up. With regards to your physical being, physically is what I wanted to say. Physically, you know what you need to do. Physically, you've got it all figured out in your head. But when it comes down to practicality, you're falling a bit short. So the king is all about strategy and all about systems and processes and procedures and everything like that, the King of Swords. But the King of Swords just sits in his chair. The King of Swords is not the person to go out there and do anything about it. The King of Swords issues the instruction for other people to do. So, with regards to your health and well-being, you know where you're falling short. You know what you need to do. You know what is required. But knowing it and doing it are clearly two very different things. And again, I wonder if this isn't where we bring grieving back into the picture. Because, Libra, I think this is telling you that it's about acknowledging your own shortcomings within yourself. We can talk about it until the cows come home. We can talk about it forever. Talking about it doesn't mean it's actually taking place. And I think you've got to acknowledge the losses. I think you've got to acknowledge the shortcomings. I think you have to admit to yourself that, yes, having the ideas and the concepts is great, but if you don't do the work, if you don't do the things that need doing, you're never going to achieve the health and well-being that you're looking for and that you need in your life. So King of Swords, with regards to health, stop talking about it, stop planning, and actually let's get things in motion. Let's get more physical and practical and not be so logical and intellectual around what we need to do in taking care of our physical being. But I do think the grieving card is relevant to this one as well. Okay, we have two cards left, and these two cards come from another tarot deck, and we're looking at what do you need to embrace this month and what do you need to be careful of in relation to everything that we have already covered. So to embrace during the month, we have got the 10 of Swords. It's not really an embrace type of card, but I think what it's basically saying to you is I want to actually, and I think if I can pick it up, oh my gosh, can I now struggle to pick it up? I want to stick it there with the grieving card, okay? I want to stick it there with the grieving card because what I'm seeing here, Libra, is embrace. This is Spirit saying you need to embrace this. You need to embrace the fact that you're done. You need to embrace the fact that it's finished. You need to embrace the fact that you are not prepared to continue living your life the way that you have been. You need to embrace the fact that it's time for a do-over. It's time for a new beginning. It's time to start again. And the only time that you really feel confident enough to pick yourself up and to start again is the dawn of a new day. You can see that yellow over there. It's the new day dawning. So you've given up. Okay, you had completely given up, but as the sun comes up and as that sun's rays start touching you and start warming you up, you're going to start feeling more confident. But you have to get over the loss first. You have to grieve your old self, your old methods, your old processes first in order for you to embrace the new day and embrace the new opportunities that are there for yourself. So I think that's really, really very interesting and quite appropriate too, especially when we look at all of the cards that we've got here. So very interesting, Libra. Let's have a look at our last card, which is what you need to actually be careful of during the month of August. And what we have here is the Five of Pentacles. And Five of Pentacles is the card of loss. It's the card of grieving. It's the card of not having. So you need to be careful of, because I think really what it's saying to you, and I want to bring that card into our King of Swords. So King of Swords is about having the theory. It's about having the theoretical knowledge on what needs doing, when it needs doing, how it needs doing, who it needs doing, etc. But it's the card of just being, having analysis paralysis. I don't know if you've heard that phrase before, but it's about where you have meetings to have meetings, meetings to plan other meetings, and we get so involved in scheduling that we actually don't ever do. And I think that's why we've got this Five of Pentacles. It's telling you be careful of falling into that trap. You also don't want to fall into the trap of grieving excessively, so much so that we're not moving forward. So Libra, I'm going to say to you, looking at all of this, get out of your head and get into reality, get into the physical, and start making some changes. I think it's very important as we go forward that you recognize all the things that you're capable of doing and all the things that you're not capable of doing, and be realistic with yourself, but acknowledge the old you, acknowledge the person you were, the situations you had, the past, acknowledge all of that so that you are free to explore and to move forward and to live as happily as you can and as happily as you deserve. But I also want to bring in Spirit Guide card here, because I think this is telling you that you're never alone. Spirit is saying to you that they've got your back. They are with you, working, helping you all the time. Spirits are there with you all the time. So you must never feel abandoned, never feel like you're alone, never feel like you're out in the cold. You need to acknowledge that Spirit have your back, but you have to do the work. Spirit can't do that for you. All right. Libra, as always, with love and blessings from my heart to yours. Until we connect again, take care. Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to your August 2021 TarotScopes with me, Intuitive Rene. As you can see, I have shuffled and laid out the cards already that we're going to be working with today. And if you are interested or curious as to the decks that I have used, please do check out the intro, because all that information is there for you. And I just really want to get straight into your reading and to see what does the month of August have in store for you. So we're going to start with these two cards across the top, which are going to give you your theme, your overview or theme for the month ahead. And let's have a look and see what we have. We have got fertility. So I know immediately some of you are going to be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to fall pregnant. Fertility is not always just about pregnancy. Fertility is about having whatever it is that you need, having whatever it is that is important, having, it's really about fertile, and it's about being ready to receive. Let's use that. Being ready to receive. And if we have a look at this particular card, if we have a look at the particular image that's there, so we've got this lady standing. I love the beautiful red outfit that she's wearing, and red is the color of passion. It's the color of enthusiasm. It's the color of fire. It's all of that gorgeous stuff. And she's leaning up against a tree, okay? But she is very receptive. I'm going to use that word. She's very open to receiving. She's very open to being noticed. She's very open to being appreciated, and she's very open to receive acknowledgement or any kind of thing that anybody wants to offer her. So she is open and receptive to new energies coming into her space, and that is what fertility means. And Scorpio, for each one of you, this is clearly what August has in store for you. It's about being open and willing to receive and to embrace whatever you're getting and to use it to your advantage. Let's just see, connected to that card, we've got, oh, I love it, empowerment. How beautiful is that card? So it's about, and you know, empowerment, it could have like a, I'm going to say, a slightly negative connotation of feeling full of yourself and feeling like you're better than everybody else, but not really. When we have fertility and empowerment together, it's really just about acknowledging who you are, what it is that you deserve, what it is that you want, and being open and receptive to receiving without feeling like you're taking from somebody else. Because human nature, we're all in this kind of position where we feel like, you know, it's wrong for me to win, it's wrong for me to take, it's wrong for me to receive. Maybe I should let other people have a turn, maybe I should allow other people the opportunity. But being empowered and recognizing who you are, what you are, and what you're made of, and what you deserve, it's about recognizing that you also deserve a chance to succeed and to have happiness and to have joy, and be open to receive without feeling like you're, you know, stepping in anybody else's toes or jumping the queue or getting ahead of anybody else. It's about knowing who you are, what you're capable of, what you deserve, and what's good for you, and being open to receive that. I think that's fabulous, Scorpio. I really do. And I do think as well, when I look at these two cards, it's obviously saying that over the last period of time, however long it is, over the last period of time, you have given up things, given up situations. You've stepped back and allowed other people to jump the queue. You've allowed other people to go ahead of you. You've, over the last while, you've been very open to allowing other people to go ahead of you. And I think this is Spirit's way of saying to you, as we go into the month of August, it's time that you be open to receive changes, improvements, betterment, because you are amazing, you are fabulous, and you are wonderful. I love that. All right, so Scorpio, we're now going to move into the tarot cards that I've got laid out here. And our first tarot card that we're going to have a look at is to give us a bit of insight into your love situation in the month of August. So when I talk about the love situation, it doesn't matter what your relationship status is. It doesn't matter if you're single, if you're married, if you're in a complex relationship, or if you just recently broken up. It doesn't matter what your situation is. This card will be relevant and applicable no matter what your situation. So it could be referencing a single individual in your life. It could be referencing family. It could be representing anybody or any group of people that is significant. You will understand for yourself depending on your own circumstances. So let's have a look and see what is in store for you with regards to love in August 2021. We've got Page of Swords. Page of Swords is such a cute card. It's such a lovely card because Page of Swords energy is very enthusiastic and very motivational and very inspirational, but with a little bit of innocence attached to it. Okay, here we have empowerment, which is all about strong and brave and courageous, and you know, she really stands in her power, and she doesn't let anybody knock her off. She doesn't let anybody, you know, take that empowerment away from her. She's fertile and she's ready to receive. She's open and ready to receive anything that the universe is throwing at her. But when it comes to relationships, when it comes to emotions, when it comes to your emotional connections with other people, you're feeling a little bit insecure, okay? You're feeling a little bit uncertain as to whether this is actually something that you want. But what we have to understand with Page of Swords, I always associate Page of Swords specifically with learning, specifically with lessons. And I think that what it's saying to you here is, as you go through the month of August, all Scorpio energy, you need to be open and receptive to learning about love, learning about how much you deserve, how significant you are, how amazing you are, how wonderful you are. Being open and receptive to those situations, to those circumstances, and recognizing that you don't know it all. You still got a lot to learn. And the only way that you're going to learn how powerful you are and how ready you are is by just embracing it, by going through it, allowing it to happen, but just being open to the situations and the experiences that are around you. So I do think, looking at this during the month of August, you're going to have some interesting experiences, possibly experiences you've not had before, possibly experiences that, that may not always make sense, but you will learn, you will grow, you will receive, and you will be amazing, and it'll all work out perfectly. So relationship wise, in the love department, be open to the lessons that are coming for you. And now we're going to look at your finances. So financially, with regards to your money, with regards to material possessions, what do you need to know? What can you look forward to in the month of August? And we have the Two of Wands. So the Two of Wands is, she's quite fabulous. Okay, so she's standing, I'm going to call it on the balcony of the hotel because she's all modern and all of those kind of things. She's holding her smartphone in her hand. She's obviously surfing the web, and she's looking at her options. She's looking at travel. She's looking out at the oceans, and she's like, well, right, where am I going to go to next? The fact that she's standing between these two wands, between these two sticks, is indicating that she's trying to pick between one or two things. So financially for you, when I look at the Two of Wands, it's basically saying to you, it's time to make some decisions regarding the future, regarding the near future, not the long distance future. So we're not talking long-term investments. We're talking short-term stuff. And I really think the Two of Wands are saying to you, be open to ideas and suggestions and options or opportunities, I should say, from other people. Recognize that you deserve to have some success, some short-term reward for your efforts, but it's almost like you need to weigh up your pros and your cons. You need to weigh up your options and make a decision. Don't spend too much time weighing up pros and cons. Don't spend too much time thinking about it. If an opportunity presents itself, look at it clearly, and ask yourself, does it excite me? And does it make me feel good? And if the answer is no and no, then the answer is no. But if the answer is yes, it excites me and yes, it makes me feel good, then absolutely go for it. Financially, you may have to make some decisions this month. You may have to look at weighing up your options, but I really do feel very positive about this because it actually doesn't matter where she goes. She is successful. She's ready. She's open. It's going to happen. So for you financially, as you go into the month of August, just be open to receive, be open to opportunities and everything that's around you, and just know that these positive changes coming, but you have to be the one to initiate and to make those decisions. Don't leave it up to somebody else. Don't put it on to somebody else. You need to embrace it. You need to act on it, and you need to drive it. If you don't drive it, it's not going to happen on its own. So you've got to put the effort in, Scorpio. You've got to make sure that you're super confident. Recognize your empowerment. Recognize your, I want to say your capabilities. The word keeps wanting to come out of my mouth. Recognize everything that you're capable of doing, everything that you have done in the past, and really recognize the hidden talents that you may possess, okay? And recognize that this month we can use them, especially when it comes to finances, especially when it comes to your money. All right, I like that actually, Scorpio. Now we're going to look at your health and well-being. We're going to look at your physical body, your physical body, and health and well-being. What do you need to be aware of? What is important and significant for the month? And we have got the glorious Empress. What I love about the Empress is she's the energy that gives birth. She's the energy that brings life to circumstances, to situations, to things. She's the one who nurtures and takes care of, but she does it from such a place of compassion and such a place of understanding. She's like the perfect nurturer. But you've got to, again, if you're not open, and I really believe, Scorpio, for you looking at all of the cards that we've got just so far, if you're not open to it, it's not going to happen. If you're not receptive, if you're not recognizing the prime opportunities, that everything is ripe for the picking around you, especially when it comes to your finances, especially when it comes to even relationships, it's you have the opportunity to take things to the next level. but you have to learn, you have to grow, you have to advance, you have to recognize how empowered you are. And with regards to your body, I think you know what you need to do. And I think this is a good month to start. So if you're wanting to start any new opportunities or any new, let's call it programs or regimes or things with regards to your physical being, this is a good month to start that, because the Empress is all about nurture. She's all about taking care of, but she's all about giving birth to and allowing things to progress on their own. So if you're wanting to change lifestyle, if you're wanting to I hate using the word diet, but if you're wanting to make some changes that are going to be beneficial and better for you, that will empower you and help you to be more open and receptive, this is definitely a good time to do it. I know August, it's not quite in the southern hemisphere here with us, it's not quite spring, we're still in winter, but don't wait until the summer before trying to get your summer body. I really think that's what our Empress is saying to you. Start now, and if you start now, you will have a you will be a step ahead of everybody else. You will be more empowered, and you'll be more receptive to the change and more open to the changes that are coming for you. So I really get very excited about all of this here. I really think, Scorpio, it looks like you're going to have a brilliant, fabulous August. As long as you are open and feeling confident, nothing is going to go wrong. We have two more cards over here before we finish off, and these two cards is from another tarot deck. Um, and the questions we're asking is, what is it that you need to embrace this month? And what is it that you need to be careful of during the month? So let's see, what can you embrace and look forward to? I like that. Three of Cups. Three of Cups is the card of celebration. It's the card of acknowledging friends and family. It's the card of acknowledging all the things that you've achieved and all the things that you're capable of doing. But it's about not doing it on your own. It's not about celebrating and acknowledging on your own. It's about coming together with people, putting on a function, or putting on inviting a couple of people around for a party, or just an acknowledgement of your empowerment, acknowledgement of everything that you've done, the decisions that you make, and the beginnings that you implement. All right, let's celebrate and let's acknowledge. Let's not wait until you've achieved greatness. Let's not wait until it's all done. Let's be in the moment, and let's be open and ripe and fertile and ready to embrace the life that you have. And lastly, here we have the card of what to be careful of during the month of August. So let's see, what is it that you need to be careful of this month? And here we've got the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands, she's level-headed. She's quite practical. She's the person who can get stuff done. If there's anything that needs doing, she's your person. She's the one that you can lean on. She's the one that you can go to. She will always get things done. If she says a thing, guaranteed it's going to happen. She's not big talk and no action. She's actually all action, action first before anything else. Okay. And I think with the Queen of Wands coming up here telling you be careful of, it's telling you to put your money where your mouth is. Telling you that if you make a commitment to something, if you start something, if you make that decision, if you want to make some changes with regards to your emotions, with regards to your relationships, be open to it, but stay committed. Okay? Stay committed. Don't be full of hot air. Don't be full of emptiness. If you make a decision, stick with it, follow it through. And if you do that, you will achieve greatness. You will have the success. So be careful of saying things that you're not following through with. All right, Scorpio, I do hope that August is going to be a fabulous month for you. And as always, with love and blessings, from my heart to yours, until we connect again. Take care. Hello, 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 Sagittarius, and welcome to your August 2021 TarotScopes with me, Intuitive Rene. As you can see, I have laid out the cards and I have them all on the table here, ready to get straight into your reading. If you are curious as to the decks and the cards that I've worked with this month, please do check out the intro, because all of that information is there for you. Let's get straight into it and see what does the month of August have in store for you. We're going to start with these two cards across the top here. And these two cards are going to give you your theme for the month ahead. And let's have a look and see what we've got. The first card we have is family. How absolutely wonderful. Family is so important, and I think, that's one of the things that everybody has experienced and everybody's learnt and everybody's recognized over the last many months of chaos in the world that the only person or the only things that you can rely on and that you can lean on is family. Family above all else. Let's see the other card that we've got, because it'll help us to understand. We've got transformation. You know me and my butterflies, and isn't this particular butterfly just so gorgeous? Look at it. I love it. Absolutely gorgeous. So butterflies always, to me, represent transformation. It's all about, going into the cocoon and changing your form, changing who you are, and coming out of it better than you were when you went into it. So for you, Sagittarius, for the month of August, it's got to under your theme, your overall kind of energy and theme that you're going to be working with is family and the transformation. Now, what we don't know is this transformation, is it specifically around family, or is it specifically around you, or is it both? Okay, so the rest of the cards that we have here will surely give us that kind of insight. But the question really is, the theme for the month is definitely family and change. Transformation and change, two words mean the same thing. One thing that I do want to say with transformation is it's voluntary. Okay, I really want to use that word. I really want to embrace that. The change that takes place is voluntary. You voluntarily go into it, allow it, and are open to the change that happens. I do also want to just define family for a minute here, because, yes, family is husband, wife, and children in the traditional sense, but we're not living in traditional sense, are we? So family is anything and anyone who means something significant to you. All right? People in your life. So it could be colleagues at work, it could be friends, it could be direct family, it could be blood family, it could be, just anybody, any persons that you relate to, that you connect with, and people who mean something to you, people who are significant and substantial, whether you share DNA or not. Let that be family, and that's our theme for the month. We're now going to start with our tarot, which is what I've got laid out over here. And Sag, our first card that we're going to have a look at has got to do with our love in the month of August. Now, we've just identified or specified what family means, okay, given you the explanation of what family is. So when we talk about love, we're not specifically only referring to romance, we're not only referring to relationships. When we talk about love here, we're talking about the emotional connections that you have with others, the emotional connections that you have with yourself, with one significant other, or your entire family. So it's your emotional connection that we're looking at. So let's see what's in store for you in the month of August. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. We have got the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is such a beautiful card in the love department because it's about family. Here we have the couple, here we have the children, we have the happy home, we have celebration, we have victory. It is almost a duplicate of that particular card, okay? So it's really saying to you, Sagittarius, that for the month of August, one thing's for sure, your focus is definitely on family, definitely on spending time with, acknowledging, and I am going to add into that, practicing gratitude for the family that you have, the people who mean something to you, the people who are amazing, significant, and wonderful in your life. And when it comes to love, relationships, it's about acknowledging and spending time with those people, acknowledging the people you consider to be family, acknowledging the people who mean something to you, who are significant to you, and spending time with them. I think that's just absolutely wonderful. So we haven't really found this transformation yet, but maybe it'll come through in one of these cards. We're now going to move on to looking to see what's in store for you with regards to finance. Okay, so financially, money wise, work wise, what do we have in store? We have got the Five of Cups. So here we start looking at that transformation that's coming through. So the Five of Cups is the card of disappointment. Okay, there's no other way of putting it. It's just simple. Let's rip that band-aid off. It's the card of disappointment. So here we have this lady standing. She is far removed from town, from home, from people, from situations. She's isolated herself a little bit. She's walked across this, or she's come across this bridge, and she's now in a deserted place. There are these three cups that have clearly fallen over and spilt their liquid, spilt their water, or whatever it is that they contained. And she's very disappointed about that. And she is processing the emotion of that disappointment, okay? She's expressing the disappointment. You can see her head's down. You can see the stooped shoulders. Her body language really indicates that she's quite disappointed by the contents or by the fact that these have spilt. What we have over here is two more upright cups that she hasn't even noticed. So she's, as the saying goes, crying over spilt milk. All right. So financially for you, Sag, it's really saying to you, there may be disappointment during the month. There may be, I'm going to call it challenges during the month of August. Things might not be as easy, simple as and uncomplicated as we would like it to be. There may be some disappointments and some breakages. Don't focus on that. Okay, when that happens, you've got to change. You've got to look beyond. You've got to look at the bigger picture. You've got to turn around and look what's behind you and recognize that there are positives there. There are positives. They are good. There's more opportunity around you. So you have the choice of focusing on the challenges, focusing on the problems, or going through the process of transformation, going through that cocoon and changing from worm to butterfly and seeing the opportunities that are there through the chaos and the disappointment. Okay, so financially for you, it's a case of don't focus on the mishaps, don't focus on the challenges, because when the challenges happen, there will be opportunity for more. There will be opportunities for you, but only if you're up for the challenge and up for the change. If you're set in your ways and if you're set on those three cups only, if those are the only ones that you're interested in, it's going to be a tough one. Okay, you are going to experience nothing but disappointment and sadness. But if you take the opportunity to grow, to evolve, and to change through the transformation, you will find the opportunities that are right there, right there. It's all up to you. But understand that you can lean on your family. You can lean on the people that matter in your life through these challenges, through these difficulties. Don't feel like you have to be like her and tackle everything on your own. You know, she's taken herself away from the family to process her pain, to process her disappointment. Why she's chosen to do that, we don't know, but you don't have to. Okay, so Sag, in you, whatever it is that you're going through financially during this month, lean on your family. All right, but use it as the opportunity to change. Use it as the opportunity to not focus there, but to actually look for new opportunities, because there are plenty. All right, now we're going to go into this card over here, which is going to give us our health and well-being. So with regards to your physical body, what's going on and what do you need to be aware of? And we have Page of Wands. I'm giggling because Page of Wands is such an ambitious card. And when it comes to your health and well-being, it's saying to you that you are very ambitious. You've got high hopes that you've set for yourself. And we can understand now when it comes to our finances why you've taken this disappointment so hard, because you set high standards for yourself. You've got high hopes for yourself. And you're not really prepared to compromise. You're not really prepared to accept anything less than perfect. But with the Page of Wands, sometimes we have to. Sometimes we have to acknowledge and almost admit to ourselves our shortcomings and the things that aren't so fabulous in our life, and maybe the things that you're not as good at doing yet. Okay, so physically you're not quite where you want to be. All right, physically you're still evolving, you're still learning, you're still growing, you're still trying out, you're still still got some growing to do, let's put it that way. Okay, so you're not quite where you want to be yet. You have high ambition, you have high hopes, and you're probably quite confident in your abilities to do things, but you are lacking certain things with regards to yourself. But again, I really do think the transformation card feeds into that really well, because again, it's about recognizing what's working for you on a physical level and recognizing what isn't working for you on a physical level and making the relevant adjustments, making the relevant changes so that you don't disappoint yourself and don't let yourself fall short with regards to your physical health and well-being. All right. So, Sagittarius, we have got two cards left that we need to look at and that we need to talk about. The first card we have here, this is now a completely different tarot deck. This is the card of what you need to embrace this month, and this is going to be the card of what you need to be careful of this month. So let's have a look and see during August, what do you need to embrace? And we have got the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords, and it makes a lot of sense for transformation. It makes a lot of sense for family, for focusing on disappointments and recognizing your own limits and restrictions and hopes and achievements. The Eight of Swords is the card that says to you that you're feeling like you're tied up, like you're blindfolded. You're feeling as if you've been trapped and caged and blocked and whatever else. But the truth of the matter is, you're not seeing the situation for what it truly is. You, because of the blindfold and because of what's happening around you, you're feeling as if you've been, you're being held captive. But there's nobody else around you. Okay, you do have these 8 swords around you, which means that you have the ability to remove the ties that are keeping you trapped. The 8 of Swords is the card of saying that you are your own worst enemy, and that way you perceive things is often not accurate. And I really want to bring that into this finance card. Okay, and this is what Spirit is saying. You need to embrace this. So anytime you feel trapped, limited, restricted, caged, however, whatever words you want to use, anytime you feel that, stop for a second and say to yourself, am I focusing on the 3 that have spilt, or am I seeing the opportunity for progress and new? And I can almost guarantee that this is where your focus is. Your focus is on the problems and the challenges and not on the opportunities. And we need to embrace that this is how we've been reacting to life for the longest time now. And we need to change. We need to transform. And again, lean on family to help you to overcome that and to become a stronger, better, healthier person, and not only focus on the limits that we have and the restrictions, but to recognize opportunity that's there for you. All right. And our last card, Sagittarius, is the card of what to watch out for, what to be careful of during the month. Let's have a look and see what we've got. Okay, we've got the card of the Chariot. Okay, Chariot is a major arcana card, and it is the card of focus. And Spirit is saying to you, be careful of this. And I tell you why. Again, it comes back to this. It comes back to everything that we've got covered here. You've got to make sure that you are remaining focused on the right situations and circumstances in your life. Do not allow yourself to get focused on the problems. Do not allow yourself to get focused on the challenges, but you need to stay focused on the transformation. This is your key card here, okay? So Sagittarius, this is really Spirit saying to you, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a walk in the park, but with focused attention, by not allowing yourself to get caught up in the emotions, by recognizing what works and what doesn't work for you, by learning and growing and going through that, leaning on the family, leaning on the people that actually mean something to you, and changing your focus from the problems to the opportunities. If you can do that, you will have an incredibly, incredibly successful month ahead. So it's all, the ball is in your court. Where are you going to focus your attention? Where are you going to focus on? Be mindful of your focus. Be mindful of what you're looking at and ask yourself, is it the right thing? Are you focusing on the right thing? All right. So, Sag, as always, I do hope that you have a fabulous month ahead with love and blessings from my heart to yours. Until we connect again. Take care. Hello, Capricorn, and welcome to your August 2021 TarotScopes with me, Intuitive Rene. As you can see, I have shuffled and laid out the cards that we're going to be working with. If you are curious or interested as to which decks I have used this month, please do check out the intro because all that information is there. And I really just want to get straight into your reading to see what does the month of August have in store for you. And we're going to start with these 2 cards across the top here, which are going to give us your theme for the month, the overall theme for the month. So let's have a look and see what we have. Oh, that is lovely. We have got protection. Isn't she gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous. And I think her message for you this month is recognizing how much you protect yourself, how much you protect others, and how protected you are. If we look at the image on this particular card, and I don't know if it's going to come through on camera, but first of all, she just looks so happy with life. She looks so content and so comfortable with herself. She's holding the earth almost like it's a pregnant tummy, okay? So it's almost like she's keeping it within her sacred space being her uterus. And then here in her heart center, we have this beautiful, beautiful light that's emanating. And within her, she contains the world. Within her, she contains everything. And she knows that. She knows her strength. She knows what she's capable of doing, and she knows what she holds within her sacred belly, and she is protecting that with everything that she has. And you've got to identify what is it that you are so protective over. And it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays through. Let's have a look and see what our second card is. Oh, look, you see, Capricorn, I'm loving this. Protection and new beginnings. All you've got to do is step through the doorway. The new beginnings are there for you. Everything that you're wanting for yourself is through that doorway, but you have to take that step. But you are maybe protecting yourself a little bit too much, or maybe you're holding back a little bit. You're waiting for the right time, you're waiting for the right moment to give birth, to allow the new beginnings to take place. But one thing is absolutely guaranteed and certain is that as we go into August, you are going to be ready to embark on this brand new journey. And that truly, truly excites me. All right. So Capricorn, I do think, yeah, your theme is a lovely one for the month ahead. I keep twisting the cards here. Your theme is a lovely one for the month ahead. And now we're going to get into the tarot cards that we've got laid out here. And the first card that we're going to look at has got to do with your love connections. It's got to do with your emotional connections and well-being. So it doesn't matter what your relationship status is. It doesn't matter if you're married, single, or whatever the situation is. Just know that this is going to be relevant to whoever is significant in your life, emotionally in your life. So let's see what's in store for you with regards to these emotions. We have got, I love it, the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is, you can see by the card, you can see by the graphics, it's about movement. It's about high energy. It's about fast, okay? So this protection and these beginnings, it's all going to come about so quickly, in fact, that your head may spin. You may need to hold on really tightly to protect what is near to you and what is dear to you. You may need to hold on to that really, really tightly because things on an emotional level are going to advance really, really quickly because that's what this Knight of Swords is doing. The Knight of Swords, he's not wanting to discuss it. He's not wanting to plan and strategize. He's just like charging ahead, charging in, and he's getting things done. I love the fact that he's holding his sword upright because it's indicative of success, of victory, of no fear. And when we're in the state of protection, when we are protecting something that's so important to us, we do become a little bit defensive, don't we? We do become a little bit of like, it's mine, I need to take care of it, go away, don't come close. We become a little bit defensive, and actually we need to just be charging ahead. We need to be moving and allowing the new beginnings and the changes to take place, especially on an emotional level, because things are going to be happening really, really quickly. And I'm excited. It's not a negative at all, okay? It really is an incredibly positive situation. Emotionally, there's progress. Emotionally, there's forward movement, there's momentum that is going to take you to the new beginnings and to the opportunities that you're looking for. But you need to make sure that you're not allowing your emotions to hold you back and to limit you, but actually to allow you the confidence to forge ahead and to move into new beginnings. I like that, Capricorn. I really, really do. All right, we're now going to go into the next one, and this card has got to do with your finances. Your finances, your career, your job opportunities, the money side of things. What is in store for the month ahead? Lovely Page of Pentacles. Now, I think that is such a beautiful card to have. So let's have a look at the image that we have here. The first thing that I notice is that she's on her own. She's away from the city. She's away from the people. She's pulled herself away. And the reason why she's done that is to protect herself. The reason why she has separated herself from the city center is because before she takes her coin out, before she takes her pentacle out, and pentacle represents everything in life, okay? So, but before she takes her pentacle out, she needs to make sure that nobody can see her. She needs to make sure that she's safe, and she needs to make sure that there's no judgment. I think that's the big thing with her, is she doesn't want to put herself, like if she stood in town and she did this, people would be questioning her actions, questioning her motives, questioning her morals, questioning everything. Whereas where she's now, away from everybody, she feels safer, more confident in herself in order to try something, in order to explore something. So financially for you, Capricorn, this is really saying to you, that you may find yourself withdrawing, you may find yourself retreating, and I hesitate to use the word retreating, but you may find yourself pulling away from the crowds to explore something, to try something, to figure something out before you actually show it off to the world. It's almost like you want a rehearsal before you act, before the main event. Okay, so financially, before you embark on anything that's going on around you, you may find yourself wanting just to do a trial run, a dummy run, a test run, a rehearsal, as something away from prying eyes before you actually put things into motion. And that's okay. And that's okay. You know, Capricorn, we need to understand that if you're not confident in yourself, if you're not confident in your actions and what you're doing and how you're doing it and when you're doing it, that's going to come through. And the best way to protect yourself from disappointment, from hurt, from anything is to make sure that you do what's right for you. And if that means doing something quietly on the side, so be it. Don't think that that's an sign of insecurity, and don't think it's a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of strength. So financially, test things out, try it out on the side before you announce it to the world. And that is absolutely the best way to protect yourself through new beginnings. All right. Our next one that we're going into, this card is going to give you the information regarding your health and well-being. So this is dealing with, we've done emotions, we've done finances, work and career, and now we're looking at your physical health and well-being. So what do you need to know? What do you need to be aware of during the month of August? And we have the Six of Wands. So this is getting very exciting. Emotionally, we're just charging ahead. Emotionally, we're not questioning, we're not thinking, we're not strategizing too much. Emotionally, we're trusting and we're going with the flow and we're charging into situations. Financially, we're being a little bit more cautious. Financially, we're holding back a little bit. And when it comes to your health and well-being, you have achieved greatness. You have achieved everything that you set out to achieve and so much more, and everybody's noticing. Okay, because that's what the Six of Wands is. The Six of Wands is this person on the horse coming into town after going off and doing something. You've had success. There is the victory wreath. You've had success. There's even her earrings, there's even a V for victory. And the whole town has come out in celebration of your accomplishments and your achievements. So physically, Capricorn, this is saying to you that you've done well. You've achieved so much. Physically, your well-being, you're actually in a pretty good space. You're actually doing pretty okay. And it's time that you let other people give you compliments. It's time that you allow other people to express everything that you've done, everything that you've accomplished for yourself on a physical level. So if people are saying to you, oh my gosh, you look so pretty today, just smile at them and say thank you. I know it's difficult to receive compliments. I know we all struggle with it. It is so difficult, and we sometimes feel so awkward, accepting compliments. But the best advice I can give you is just to smile and say thank you. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to go into a whole thing of, oh yes, I've just been to the hairdresser, or yes, I've just done this, or no. All you have to do is smile and say thank you. Let people recognize you, let people see you, let people acknowledge you. And it's about acknowledging your physical form. So if somebody says to you, oh, you look really pretty today, just smile and say thank you. That's all you have to do. And by doing that, you protect yourself, you protect your self-esteem, you protect your confidence, and it'll also take you towards new beginnings. I'm loving this, Capricorn. Absolutely loving this. All right. We have got two more tarot cards, and this is from a completely different deck. And what we're looking at with these two cards is, what do you need to embrace this month, and what do you need to be careful of this month? So let's have a look. What does Capricorn need to embrace? And we have got Queen of Swords. Sure, it's actually quite interesting how you've got three court cards that have come through. Queen is one up from the Knight of Swords. That Queen of Swords, she's one up from the Knight of Swords. Queen of Swords, and it's, this is what Spirit is saying, what you need to embrace this month, okay? Queen of Swords, she is so super confident in herself, in her abilities, in her actions, in her processes, and she's not afraid to say so. I really want to say that she is bordering on bitchy, but she isn't quite there. But she can be if she needs to be, okay? Queen of Swords is somebody who's assertive, who's confident, who speaks with clarity, speaks with a clear mind or clear words, somebody who doesn't ever back down or bow down to anybody. She protects herself, she protects her people, she protects her kingdom, and she's not afraid to take a chance. She's not afraid to take a gamble, all right? But let me tell you, it's a well thought out, strategized gamble. It's not just a random thing. She is super confident, super sure of herself, and she's not afraid of anyone. And that's what you need to be during this month. So, again, going back to the compliments, if people give you a compliment, smile and say thank you. When people say to you, gosh, you really are doing well, you say thank you. It's all you have to do is just let people see you, let people acknowledge your success, your victory, your amazingness, and just say thank you. And here, our last card that we're looking at for you, Capricorn, is what do you need to be careful of this month for August 2021? And Capricorn, the card we have is the Chariot. And I do think that's quite relevant and appropriate. So the Chariot in a single key word is focus, okay? And this is Spirit saying to you, be careful of your focus. So you've got to make sure that you're not so Queen of Swords that you do become the bitch, all right? You need to make sure that your Queen of Swords is managed, that your emotions and your intellect and your mindset and all of those things, there's a fine line between sanity and craziness, and you want to make sure that you don't cross it. So the Chariot card here as what to be careful of is Spirit saying, don't let this get to your head. Don't let this feed your insecurities, and don't let this drive you into a state of chaos. You need to be constantly protecting yourself. You need to be constantly looking out for yourself. You need to be constantly guarding that which is most important to you. And you need to be open and working towards stepping through that doorway to the new beginnings. Don't get so focused on where you are at now that you don't evolve and progress the way that you need to. So be careful of your focus points and constantly check yourself, constantly ask yourself, am I focused on the right things? Am I looking in the right direction? Am I doing the right things? Or am I emotionally veering off and charging off in the wrong direction? Am I being overprotective or am I not being protective enough? Am I walking through that doorway or am I afraid and scared to? Am I charging off in the wrong direction or am I too nervous and too apprehensive? So be very careful of your focus points and constantly check in with yourself and make sure that this fine line here with our Queen of Swords, that you're not on the wrong side of that line. Capricorn, I do think you're in for a fabulous month. Protection and new beginnings sounds amazing. I wish you every success and every happiness during the month of August. And as always, with love and blessings, from my heart to yours, take care. Hello and welcome, Aquarius. Welcome to your August 2021 TarotScopes. As you can see, I have shuffled and laid out the cards on the table already. If you are curious as to which decks I have used this month, please do check out the intro, as all of that information is displayed, was given there for you. I want to get straight into your reading because I'm very curious to see what does the month of August have in store for all my Aquarius energies. We're going to start off here with the theme for the month ahead. Let's get straight into it and see. The first card we have is fertility. And fertility came up with one of the other zodiacs. I can't now think of which one it was. And it was in that exact same position. So now I think to myself, oh my gosh, did I shuffle the cards? But we have got fertility. What does fertility mean? So Aquarius, no, it doesn't mean that you are falling pregnant, unless, of course, that is something that you are actively working on. But fertility is about being open and receptive to receive, open and receptive, ready to receive anything that you need, that you desire, and that you're looking forward to. So fertility is about, in order to fall pregnant, your body has to be fertile. It has to be ripe. It has to be ready to receive the sperm. And fertility just means in your life, in every aspect of your life, whether it's love, finances, health, and well-being, that's what those cards are there for. Regardless of what area of life, whatever it is that you are working on at the moment, whatever it is that you are manifesting for yourself, this is telling you that you are ready. This is telling you that you are ripe. This is telling you, Aquarius, that you are ready and fertile for anything that you are manifesting. I do want to say to you with this fertility card, it could also be attracting the negative. So you may be fertile to chaos, to drama, to problems, to challenges. So you've got to be mindful. What is it that you're open to receiving? What is it that you are fertile and attracting into your life? But let's see what the other cards are, and then we can understand it a bit more. Family. All right. So Aquarius. I do think this could be leaning towards pregnancy. So if you are, I'm going to call it of age, if you are at a point in your life where falling pregnant is a possibility, and if it's something you don't want, be extra cautious this month, okay? Full disclaimer, I'm not responsible if you fall pregnant this month, but it looks like it's a possibility. If if you are not of that age or not in that situation, I am going to caution you, if you are sexually active, to practice extra protection this month. Don't take chances, because if it's not what you want, yeah, we don't want to attract that. But I do think as well, being open and being receptive to anything and everyone with the focus on family, I think that is such a beautiful theme for the month ahead. So Aquarius, fertility, being open to receive. Family, let's explore family for a minute. So what does the word family mean? Family is not just about DNA and blood. Family is not just about the people who come from the same parents and, the same bloodline. Family is anybody who is significant in your life, anybody who means something to you, anybody who brings a sense of belonging, a sense of joy, a sense of love into your life is considered family. Yes, it is your DNA, it is your blood relatives, but it's also your friends and your work colleagues and the people who mean something significant to you. So I want you, before we even explore the rest of the cards, just recognize for you, what is family? What does family mean? What is that term referencing to you? And are you open and receptive to receiving from family? Okay, right. So Aquarius, very interesting indeed. We're now going to start with the tarot cards that I have laid out over here. And starting with this card on the far left, this is the card that's going to give us information and insight into your love situation. So it doesn't matter if you're married, if you're single, if whatever your relationship status is. This is about your emotional connection to one other or to others. So it could be friends, family, it could be a significant relationship or partner. You will recognize it and you will understand who this card is referencing. But this is the card that deals with your emotional well-being and your love connection. So let's see. In the month of August, for you, Aquarius, we have got the Eight of Pentacles. And it's very interesting that we have this card, considering what we've already said, considering what we've already picked up, okay? Because Eight of Pentacles is the card of hard work. Eight of Pentacles is the card of having to put effort in to everything that you do, and almost like such a workaholic that you neglect. I don't really want to use that word neglect, but that you're such a workaholic that you're not having any fun, you're not socializing, you're not engaging with your family. You're just so focused on work, 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 work. And you can see what she's doing is she's replicating, or she is creating, painting all these discs, all these pentacles. And she doesn't even notice the whole world that's right outside her window. She is just focused on her task at hand, and she's working hard. Okay. So when it comes to your emotional well-being, when it comes to your love connection, Aquarius, this is definitely saying to you that you are very much aware of the work that you have to do, the work that you're putting into your relationships. But sometimes working on it and putting effort in isn't the same as enjoying. And I do think that's what you need to take from this. So, Aquarius, for the month of August, it's not just about working on the relationships, it's actually about taking some time to enjoy family. It's taking some time to be open and receptive to spending time with them, to engaging with them, just holding hands and just being in that moment. Don't feel like you always have to do. Don't feel like you always have to create. Don't feel like you always have to put the effort in, because it's about finding a balance between family and about the work that you put into the relationships. I get it that relationships are hard work. I get it that you have to do, but sometimes it's important to just be and to not do all the time, isn't it? So that's quite an interesting one. All right, Aquarius, let's have a look at our next aspect. And our next aspect, or the next thing that we're looking at, has got to do with your finances. So money, career, work, finances. Where are you at? What's happening in the month of August? Oh, now we get the Lover's card. We want to swap these two because that would be fabulous. All right. What is the Lover's card? The Lover's card is the card of recognizing where you truly belong, recognizing your tribe, recognizing your people. But the Lover's card, it is also the card of choices and decisions. It's the card of consequences of your actions. It's the card of recognizing that whoever you choose to be with, that is the decision you make, and that is where your commitment lies. So, with regards to money, with regards to career, with regards to finances, what this card is basically saying to you is that you need to be open and honest with yourself with regards to the choices and the decisions that you've made with regards to your money. And don't try and blame anybody else. Yes, people might have given you insight. Yes, people might have given you guidance and whatever, but actually, ultimately, you are the one who made the decision. So, you may find yourself really feeling drawn to connect with an individual, a company, a circumstance, or a situation with regards to your money, and recognize that you are the only one who is responsible for that. Okay, I do want to bring these two cards into it as well. So, Aquarius, fertility is telling you be open to receive, be open to opportunity, be open to new, okay? Be open to new energies coming in with regards to work and finances. But I do think you're going to keep it close to home. You're going to keep it within the family. All right. So finances are looking strong. Finances are looking good. Money is looking good. I do think there's going to be some decisions and choices that you need to make. You just be open to it, be receptive, be open and receptive, and things will be actually pretty okay for you. Okay. Alrighty, Aquarius, we're now going to move on to this last, well, not the last one because we've got those two. This card is got to do with your health and well-being, your physical body. So let's see, what do you need to know? What do you need to be mindful of during the month of August with regards to your physical body? And we have the Two of Wands here. So the Two of Wands, I mean, here I always like to say in this particular deck, it looks like she's gone to the balcony of a hotel and she's overlooking the ocean and she's overlooking the waters. She's got a cell phone in her hand. Two of Wands in traditional tarot is all about making decisions. It's all about, just weighing up your pros and your cons, weighing up your options and making decisions as to what next. The fact that she's got her cell phone in her hand shows that she's Googling. Okay, Google is your friend. She's looking into options for herself with regards to, remember, this has got to do with your health and well-being. Be open to making some changes. Be receptive to making some changes. But I do think this is telling you that you're at a point in your life now where you're ready to make some slight, let's call them tweaks and adjustments, okay? But it's also about bringing a fertility into it. It's about the starting. So don't think that you're going to go from here to whatever your end goal is instantly, but I do think you need to be open to new beginnings, new opportunities, but you need to make those decisions. And I am going to say to you, you need to make those decisions. Don't rely on or lean on anybody else here. Aquarius, this is telling you from a health and well-being point of view, you need to be in control. You need to take charge and you need to make the decisions as to what you actually want for yourself. What is the right for you? Okay. So once you've made those decisions, then act it out, follow it through. Let your family know so that they can love and support you through the process, but ultimately be open and receptive to change. And it's time to take control of your physical being because you're not quite where you want to be and you're not quite where you feel is right for yourself. We have got two cards left. And of these two cards, this one over here is what you need to embrace this month. And this bottom card is what you need to be careful of. So let's have a look and see, what do you need to embrace now in the month of August? And we have got, I've got a glare on it, I can't see. It's the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles really feeds in so nicely to all of these cards that we've got here. King of Pentacles, what you need to embrace is recognizing your financial power, recognizing what you're capable of creating, what you're capable of manifesting, recognizing what you're capable of attracting. Be open and receptive to drawing it into attracting it. And this is Spirit saying to embrace it. Embrace the finances. Embrace how easy it is for you to make money. Embrace how easy it is for you to achieve the things that you set out for yourself. Things come very easily to you. It's not difficult at all. And finally, over here, we have got what it is that you need to be careful of during the month. So let's have a look, Aquarius. What do you need to be careful of this month? And we have got broken heart. So you need to be careful of the disappointment. And I think I actually even want to, gosh, now I can't even pick the card up. I want to move this card over here. I want to put it with that one. And the reason why I say that is because the Eight of Pentacles with regards to romance, with love, with your emotional connection, was the card where we said you're working so hard, you're being so diligent, you're working at it all the time, but you're not enjoying it, okay? You're not enjoying taking time to enjoy the relationship. You're not taking time to connect with your loved ones and the emotional connections that you have. All you're doing is working the whole time, and you're not really taking the time to participate and enjoy the relationship. And I think what you need to be careful of, what Spirit is saying to you, is that if you're working at the relationship all the time without taking the time to enjoy it, it's going to end up in heartbreak. So be careful of that. Be careful of being too focused on achieving that you don't actually enjoy and participate. And if you are careful of that, you will avoid the heartbreak. But if you are just so focused on ticking your boxes and achieving things, this is where you're going to end up. So you need to be careful of that. I think that is really good, strong advice from Spirit. We do need to work on relationships. We do need to work on our emotions all the time. But sometimes it's good to just sit on the couch and Netflix and chill for a bit, instead of always trying to improve and to make stronger and to make better. Otherwise, things will turn sour really, really quick. Okay, Aquarius, I do hope that August is a good month for you. As always, with love and blessings from my heart to yours. Until we connect again, take care. Hello and welcome, Pisces. Welcome to your August 2021 TarotScopes with me, Intuitive Rene. As you can see, I have shuffled and laid out all the cards that we're going to be working with this month. If you are curious as to which decks I've used or which cards I've used, please do check out the intro, as all of that information is there for you. I'm really keen to just get straight into it and to see what is in store for Pisces for August 2021. So we're going to start with these two cards across the top here, and these two cards are going to give you the theme for the month ahead. So let's see what's in store for you. What is the theme? We've got animals. Oh, I do like that. That's the first time this card has come up in TarotScopes this month. Animals is about, unconditional love. It's about companionship. It's about loyalty. It's about just recognizing the connection that we all have to animals, whether you have your own pets or not. I'm just seeing the bird flying in the background. I'm seeing all the animals. There's a black cat over there, all the animals around. And when we talk about animals, it's not just the big and the beautiful, it's even to the tiny little ones as well. So recognize, see, and acknowledge the connection that you have with animals and the way that animals interact with you this month. I do think this is also telling you to explore, like, your spirit animal. Who and what is your spirit animal? And what does it stand for? What does it represent? What is the message that the spirit animal is bringing you? Let's just see the other card, because it often gives extra information. Like in this case, it's giving you life purpose. So for the month ahead, Pisces, what we're looking at is we're looking at the connection that you have with the animals. And remember, human beings are animals as well. In the real basic sense of the term, human beings are animals. It's about your connection to animals. It's the understanding that you have, the compassion and the empathy that you have for animals. But it's also about looking deep within self to try and find, to try and explore, and to try and understand your own life purpose. So it looks like there's going to be a lot of introspection, and it looks like there's going to be a lot of trying to understand exactly who and what you are, and what it is that you stand for, and what it is that you're about. So I do think that's a very interesting theme, and I'm quite excited to see what the tarot cards want to add to the situation. So, Pisces, what I've got over here is a couple of questions, a couple of areas that we're going to be looking at. Starting off with this card over here. Card is to represent love and your emotional connections. So I just want to explain on that for a second. It doesn't matter what your relationship status is. It doesn't matter if you're married, if you're single, if you're dating, if you're recently broken up. It doesn't matter what your relationship situation is. This love situation or this love card that we're going to look at is going to give you information around your emotional connection to either a single person or a group of people, your family, your friends, whoever it may be. But emotionally, what's in store for you during the month of August? And Pisces, what we have is Page of Wands energy. I love Page of Wands energy. So Page of Wands is very brave. Okay, if I had to describe the qualities of this person, she's brave, she's courageous, she's also a little bit insecure, but she doesn't show it very easily. She hides her insecurities, she hides her vulnerabilities, and she pretends that she's strong and she's got everything figured out, even though she's feeling a little bit insecure. So, relationship wise, emotionally, you may find yourself feeling that. You may find yourself pretending that everything is fabulous, but there's those little doubts, those little seeds of insecurity that are starting to sprout as we see on her wand, on her stick that she's holding there. And the Page of Wands on an emotional level is basically saying to you, don't feel like if you express your insecurities that it's a sign of weakness. Don't feel as if your insecurities are a reason to hold you back or a reason why you are inferior. Actually, the Page of Wands is telling you to embrace your feelings, to embrace your emotions, to embrace everything that's going on in your life, to embrace everything that's happening. But it's also telling you to be honest with yourself. Okay, first and foremost, acknowledge your insecurities, acknowledge your doubts, acknowledge the things that you're questioning, if I can use that, and acknowledge them with yourself. And maybe working with your animals will help you to understand yourself on an emotional level a little bit more, because you've got to recognize, animals, they just love unconditionally. There's no complications. There's no I'll only love you on condition you feed me. Animals love you whether you feed them or not. Okay, and you've got to recognize that that's not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of strength. And this is something that you've probably been struggling with your whole life. You've always thought that people will only value and appreciate you once you've done something, once you've achieved something, once you've accomplished something. But the truth of the matter is, people love you unconditionally. People need to love you. They want to love you unconditionally. But you're the one putting limits and restrictions on everything. And I think this is part of your life purpose, is coming to terms with that, seeing it, understanding it, and allowing it to happen in your life. Okay, so Page of Wands energy, a little bit insecure, putting on a brave face, pretending that everything's okay. Relationship wise, in the love department, you need to start being a little bit more open and honest with yourself. Unconditional love above all else, and understand that this is probably a long time life purpose lesson that you've been going through. We're now going to have a look at our next card across, Pisces, and the next card across has got to do with your work, your finances, and your stuff. So we're looking at your financial, your career situation. Let's see what's in store for you there. We have got Three of Cups, which is actually quite fabulous. Three of Cups is about celebration. Three of Cups is about coming together with people who you enjoy celebrating with, coming together with good people, and acknowledging achievements, acknowledging success, and just really celebrating life. So we have got three girls that have come together. They are besties. You can see that they're at some kind of a function. They're dressed really well and they are celebrating life to the fullest. And I do think, Pisces, this is saying to you, during the month of August, celebrate your victories. It doesn't matter how small they are, it doesn't matter how insignificant they are, but you need to, every time there is success, every time there is victory, every time there is something that's worked out, talk to your friends, talk to your family, talk to the people that are significant to you, and acknowledge it, celebrate, express it. And I do think this talks to the Page of Wands energy quite well, because Page of Wands is feeling insecure, feeling like I don't want to tell people that I did well. I'm a little bit nervous to tell people what I'm capable of or what I've done. But again, like an animal, if an animal's happy, it shows it. If an animal is angry, it shows it. If an animal is frustrated, it shows it. And this is exactly, it's about self-expression. And I do believe, Pisces, for each one of you, that this has probably been a life purpose lesson for you, is recognizing when that celebrating your achievements and your accomplishments is your right. And it's something that we need to do more of. Instead of focusing on our insecurities and our doubts, we need to be focusing on victories. But this is also saying financially, things are looking up. Things are looking pretty a-okay. You know, there's nothing to worry about. There's nothing to fear. Financially, career-wise, things are on track for happiness. And it's just going to flow. It's just going to flow. It's just going to flow. So don't let doubts and insecurities get in the way. Okay. We are now going on to this card over here. And Pisces, this one has got to do with your health and your well-being. This card is going to give us an indication of physically with your body. What is it that you need to be mindful of during the month of August? Let's see. Physically, what's up? We've got Page of Cups. So we've got two page energies surrounding the Three of Cups, and that's also very interesting. Page of Cups. So let's have a look at her. She is also young and a little bit naive, a little bit vulnerable, a little bit insecure, but she's all about the emotions. She wears her heart on her sleeve. There's no doubt about that. She's a very emotional person. She's somebody who feels deeply, but all she does is worry about everybody else. And I do think when this comes to health and well-being, when this comes to your physical being, Pisces, I think it's telling you to stop worrying about providing everybody else with healthy meals and ask yourself, what is it that you need? What is it that your physical is looking for? What is it that your physical, what is lacking in your life? Instead of focusing on everybody else's, let's drink from our own cup first, okay? Let's take care of ourselves before we start taking care of everybody else. You've got to put your doubts and your insecurities away. Physically, you're fine. Physically, you're okay. Physically, you're doing better than you realize, but you're not giving yourself the time of day. You're not paying yourself enough attention. I do want to bring the animals into it because in this cup, there's a tiny little fishy that she holds in her cup. And it's almost like she's trying to protect the fish and trying to keep the fish in the cup. That fish is not going to survive in the cup for a very long time, but she's not thinking about that because in that moment, she thinks that's perfect. In that moment, she thinks, right, the fish is safe, the fish is safe, the fish is safe. But that fish cannot live and cannot survive in the cup. So bringing the animals into it on a physical level, I do think this is telling you, get out there. Maybe if you do have dogs at home, start walking your dogs on a regular basis. Start connecting with animals out in nature. Start getting that kind of exercise, and walking is the exercise. Walking and running is what I am getting from these two cards for you. Health and well-being, put yourself first. Nurture and take care of yourself before you start nurturing and taking care of anybody else, because if you don't put yourself first, you're always going to be feeling inferior. You're always going to be feeling like you're not strong enough, not capable enough, not good enough, etc. And Pisces, this is really saying to you, you have to look after you first, just like you do at work. Career-wise and financially, things are okay. You know to look after yourself, but it's in the emotional department and in the physical department that we're falling short. And I do think again that this is a lifelong situation that you find yourself in, and we need to learn, take lessons, take learning from the animals, and always be open to doing things that way, if that makes any sense to you. All right, Pisces, we've got two cards left, and these two cards is a completely different tarot deck. And what we have over here is what you need to embrace during the month, and this one is going to be what you need to be careful of during the month. So let's have a look and see through all of this, what do you need to embrace during August 2021? And we have the Six of Cups. And this is what you need to embrace. Six of Cups is the card of nostalgia. It's the card of reminiscing. It's the card of comparing now and then, looking back. It's the card of remembering a time when life was easy, simple, and uncomplicated. With these two pages, pages are easy, simple, and uncomplicated. It's their insecurities and doubts that get in the way. So you need to embrace the fact that you're comparing your own life purpose and your life journey of where you are now versus where you were in the past. And you need to embrace the fact that you have grown up. You need to embrace the fact that you have evolved. You need to embrace the fact that you are not the same person you were. You're not that young, innocent person that you used to be. You need to embrace the fact that this is not who you are anymore. Your life purpose is to recognize the evolution of you and the success of all that you have achieved. I think that is actually such a good card for this particular situation for you. And let's have a look and see what is it that you need to be mindful of, what is it that you need to be careful of for the month. and we have got the Two of Wands. So the Two of Wands is the card of making decisions, okay? And Spirit is saying to you, this is what you need to be careful of, because when you're in these positions of feeling a little bit insecure, or feeling a little bit like a fish out of water, feeling a little bit vulnerable, decisions you make from that vantage point or from that point of reference might not be the right decisions for you. You need to be careful of making decisions for the wrong reasons, okay? And I do think you need to focus on your growth. You need to focus on who you are. You need to focus on the fact that you're not this young naive person anymore, that you're actually quite pretty fabulous, okay? And you need to recognize that any decisions that you make thinking of yourself, seeing yourself as this kind of person, is not going to be the right thing for you to do. You need to start celebrating and acknowledging all that you've achieved, all that you are, and all that you want to, and make sure that decisions that you make during the month are talking to that and not talking to these insecure characteristics that you may have. I hope you understand that, Pisces, because it's like really deep stuff. Really deep stuff. It's really Spirit saying to you, see yourself as something more significant. See yourself as not being immature, young, naive, and innocent. See yourself as somebody who is super confident. See yourself who has roots that grow really deep, and see yourself as somebody who has had major success in life, a lot of success. And this is where the focus needs to be. The focus needs to be here and not on your insecurities. And decisions made based on insecurities will be mistakes, will be the wrong decisions. And that's why Spirit is saying, be careful of that. But you do need to embrace all that you are, all that you have been, and all that you have accomplished. Embrace that, because I think you need to see that for yourself. It's interesting in this particular life purpose card, it's almost like there's the reality and there's the reflection of that. Okay, so if you have a look at that like blue line, and then it's like the tree is reversed, and I think it's about looking at yourself in the mirror and asking yourself, are you seeing yourself? Is your reflection a true reflection or a true duplicate of who and what you are? Or are you seeing yourself still as a sapling? Are you still seeing yourself as young and naive? And I do think, listen to the animals, work with the animals, watch the animals, engage with the animals to build your confidence, to build your strength, and to learn unconditional love above all else is all that matters. All right, Pisces, I do hope that you have an awesome August. As always, with love and blessings from my heart to yours. Until we connect again, take care.